Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Virtue Gaming Live. I am number two Ginger, joined by Izzo tonight on the cast for round one of ADL playoffs with Virtue Gaming Unity versus Team Ambition Prime. Izzo, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Ginger. Thanks for asking. I'm very much looking forward to this matchup between Unity and Team Ambition Prime. Team Ambition looking extremely strong in this split here of Aegis defenders, but VG Unity looking to take him down here in round one of playoffs. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, VG Unity coming in as the eighth seed, Team Ambition Prime as the first seed. Team Ambition voluntary selecting to go against VG Unity. They had four teams to select from, and Virtue Gaming was the one they chose. So very confident going into this match for Team Ambition. This was the matchup they wanted, the game they wanted. Virtue Gaming, the lowest seed possible, the worst record possible coming into playoffs. Not a team you would expect to make playoffs if you were an outside spectator just looking at rankings. Preseason, they were ranked in the bottom six. They had a rough regular season, but they have been known in this league as the Kingslayers. They seem to consistently beat the best teams and lose to the worst teams. So if we're going by that logic, Virtue Gaming coming in pretty confidently, and they've had some good drafts so far. But Team Ambition, as you said, have just been dominating the league, 5-2. They had a bit of a shaky start, but since then they just kind of swept out. Looking across the board, D1 average, Masters in the top lane. They have a lot of emphasis on just player skill check.
Yeah, and Unity, like you said, Kingslayers taking down Grin earlier in the season. So they're not any stranger to taking on top teams, and you have to think that they're not very scared coming into today.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be scared in their shoes. I'm excited. Remember, best of five for tonight. New to AIS this season. Quarterfinals is best of five. Last time it was best of three. So you're here with us for at least 3 games tonight. Coming in to draft throw, bans have started. Virtue Gaming Unity on blue side, Team Ambition on a red side. Bans, Tryndamere, Nautilus taken away by Virtue Gaming, whereas Team Ambition taking away that Akali early, looking to round out their bans. And, on the blue side, on the red side, excuse me, you're always looking for the counter picks, whereas blue side is looking to round out a solid fundamental composition.
Yeah, I like the Nautilus ban personally from Unity coming out on blue side. Nautilus has been picked pretty often here as a blind support. It's just such a strong engage tool. Great roams, really good lockdown for certain ADCs like Zeri. So nice ban there, in my opinion. Where the Karma now is getting banned out by Team Ambition Prime.
Yeah, we are getting some comments in chat. TSM is not the sponsor for the stream, but TSM is the underdog on the season, and Virtue Gaming Unity is the underdogs today. So we are Team Underdog, Team SM, Team Solo Mid, Team Quality Player, the best player on Virtue Gaming Unity, the Zillion One Trick. Represent, TSM isn't what it used to be, but we're still here. We still have the merch. I paid for it. I'm going to wear it.
Yes, TSM, baby, TSM. And speaking of TSM, you got to think of Bjergsen and the Zillion. Like you said, quality player, a great Zillion. We're not seeing any bans here from the Zillion. That is a champion, that quality player, if he gets his hands on, can do a lot of damage. He can carry a game on that champion and be a huge force in the game. So here it is, actually, on the third ban for Team Ambition Prime, getting banned out.
Yeah, a lot of mage-focused bans from Team Ambition. You have 3 AP-heavy bans. So really focusing around that mid lane pool, along with taking out that Karma, which again could be flexed mid lane. So really just strong bans, showing a lot of respect for quality player from Team Ambition Prime, whereas Virtue Gaming getting rid of the strong AD bruisers and taking the Zeri on the first pick.
Yeah, Zeri's still an extremely strong pick. Been hit with multiple different nerfs for multiple patches, still strong. They even banned out the Nautilus here on blue side, as that's a classic Zeri counter. So Zeri B1, not super surprising here from Virtue Gaming Unity.
Yeah, Team Ambition hovering over the Kai'Sa. The Jinx is still available as well if they'd like to go for that. Traditionally, you trade Zeri for Jinx. But again, Team Ambition, so much confidence going into this game. They wanted Virtual Gaming Unity. They've been bantering a bit. It wouldn't be surprising in game one if they, take some more exciting picks, some more high tempo picks, and really just try to slam the early game. Kai'Sa is going to be locked in. That has been seeing some action mid lane. So theoretically, that is a flex between bot or mid. Curious to see what Team Ambition decides to do with that.
Yeah, I am a fan of the Kai'Sa early flex. It's strong both mid and bot, especially into Zeri. Not really going to get punished early like Kai'Sa can. So I like to see that. And now Leona coming out for Team Ambition Prime, just another strong, engaged champion. Solid blind pick there.
Yeah, I mean, just taking this Kaisa Leona bot in a vacuum is such a strong 2v2 in the early game that's very, very hard to deal with. Um, it's very hard to say what you want to pair with the Zeri here. You could just take the Lulu and accept you have a losing lane, but you will outscale them by miles. Tom Kench as the hover, also a nice vacuum counter to Leona. Really good disengage, really good protection for the Zeri. And that's going to be the Viego locked in as well. So a solid bot lane paired with a jungle here for Virtue Gaming Unity.
Yeah, and I really like the Viego pick coming out on B3 for VGU. TAP comes out with the Kaisa Leona, two really strong engaged champs, dive champions, and Viego works so well into that type of team comp. So I really like that Viego blind. Now the Kindred looking to be hovered by TAP, also a really good counter to Viego. She can just steamroll the Viego early game. Viego can't really ever do anything to her or to them for most of the game. So I like that counter, and now Victor being banned out for TAP.
Yeah, I mean TAP going with the much high level skill check champions. Kaisa and Kindred, both high mechanically intensive champions, have a lot of outplay potential, but take strong tools to pilot them. Not so much. She's more of a haha champion. I stun you. But it's still a champion that's going to be in your face that you can't just dive in recklessly and not get punished for it, especially against the Tom Kench Viego. So Team Ambition feeling really confident that they have the skill check here against Virtue Game Unity, and just glancing at the ranks of the players, it's hard to say that you'd blame them. But again, Virtue Game Unity has got to top 8 in a league they were expected to get knocked out of instantly. So you definitely don't want to underrate them here. But bans coming through, Team Ambition has a split focus, Camille and Victor being taken out. Wild Terra is basically a Camille main, so not surprising to see there. And Virtue Gaming Unity respecting the Masters top lane, a reformed top on Team Ambition Prime, most likely going to be a double ban here on him.
Yeah, I do like the Fiora ban. TAP does have the R5 counter pick, so Fiora, really good as an R5 pick. Rakan being hovered here, that's got to be a troll, right? We do have the Leona already for support, unless they're planning to take it maybe top or... Okay,
Wow.
So now they have Lulu Leona. Lulu mid, maybe?
I mean, it has to be a Lulu flex, right? A Lulu mid top. Yeah. Goes either way. And it makes sense when you have a double AD carry already. My biggest concern here, though, is you're lacking a lot of magic damage unless, I guess you said the Kaisa AP, but then the Lulu makes less sense, in my opinion, because Lulu is better enhancing, a Kaisa that would be going towards the full AD route.
Yeah, and, Kaisa does have sort of the auto-attacking, like, Nashor's kind of hybrid build, which is okay. Looking at it again, though, I think Lulu mid would be fantastic here for TAP, considering they have the Kindred jungle. It's just such a good mid-jungle pairing. The Lulu constantly buffing up the Kindred, who's so strong in the early game. It just enhanced her to do even more steamrolling and really take advantage of the Viego early on.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in how this drop's going to pay out. And having that little flex opportunity in that R4 pick does theoretically give you a counter pick top or mid wherever you want it. Virtue Gaming Unity is going to take the Ahri Ornn, a very, very safe just B4, B5 picks. Both of them not very counterable. They're just safe, strong picks that have very clear intentions and very clear jobs. Virtue Gaming Unity, has a very cookie cutter comp here. Really clear what they want to play for, clear what they want to do. You have the early game initiative with the Ahri, and you scale up into the late game with the Zeri Ornn, whereas Team Ambition has much more of a spread of priorities, bunch of different, more highly mechanical outplay-esque champions. That looks like it's going to be the counter pick up in the top lane for Team Ambition. They're going to take the Darius into the Ornn.
Love that pick.
A great punish pick into the Ornn, especially if they're left on an island. It'll be super hard for Terry to deal with that in isolation. So I think it's a very good just, bring it to their face game one, show me what you got pick.
Yeah, and you can really see how TAP's team comp is going to work early on. You have the Kindred Lulu mid, really strong Kindred. You have Kaisa, who probably isn't going to get punished super hard by the Zeri early on. So Leona's going to be enabled to do a lot of roaming, pair up with the Kindred, try to punish the Ornn and the Ahri if possible, and get the Darius ahead and the Kindred ahead to really snowball the game.
Yeah, it feels really good for Team Ambition here. I think I feel like if you're Team Ambition, you have two winning side lanes: Darius versus Ornn and Kaisa Leona versus Zeri Tom Kench. They both should be winning. They should have prio. The big question mark here is going to be that Kindred Lulu dynamic. If Kindred is able to get unleashed a bit, they have a lot of damage potential. However, the CC lockdown in the mid jungle from Ahri Viego might just be too much for Team Ambition to handle if they take early fights that are unadvisable. That Kindred and Lulu are both still very squishy into a charm and a stun combo from Viego and Ari is just a lot of burst damage here. And that's my biggest concern for Team Ambition. I think that's Virtual Gaming Unity's biggest strength in the early game. Through this mid jungle combo, get the Viego going, get the Ari going, let Ari be able to move towards the side lanes, relieve pressure off the Zarya, off the Ornn, and hope that your side lanes are able to survive until you can do that.
Yeah, I did mention that the Kindred should be steamrolling the Viego early on, but Viego is no slouch in the early game. If he gets on to someone like the Kindred or the Lulu, like you said, there is a lot of burst damage coming out from the Ari Viego. So, while TIP I feel does have a pretty strong comp, VGU also has their angles here to eke out the early game.
Yeah, I mean, even how do you rate the scaling this game? Because I feel like it's I want to say VGU with Zeri Ornn, but Lulu Kindred and if we're going AP Kai'Sa too, also just feels disgusting.
Yeah, I mean it's really hard to discount Zeri Viego late game. Just so strong in team fights. The Viego resets. Zeri she excels so hard in those late game fights. But like you said, yeah, the Lulu Kindred is going to be extremely strong. If Kai'Sa does go for more of a poke angle, I can see VGU struggling in that regard. They're a bit short range. They do have the Ord engage, but yeah, I think honestly I would have to give VGU the late game advantage just because of the Viego Zeri. The Viego in team fights, it's just you can never count it out. I think if Kindred does get sort of a wonky ult and Viego still has his ult, he can get a ton of resets going off in that ult. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see any late game team fights if the game is even at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Kai'Sa has to go AP here too, just because your only other AP threat is Lulu, and odds are she's gonna be going like Moonstone Renewer or Shirelius. So definitely AP Kai'Sa this game, in my opinion. So that will, be limiting her spike a bit. She won't be getting that serrated Dirk early. She will be going, trying to get that 2-item spike as fast as possible. So maybe that'll give Zeri and Tahm Kench some breathing room to actually get through the early game, because that early Dirk spike is what makes, AD Kai'Sa in the bot lane so strong. Getting that extra lethality, getting the early Q upgrade, it can be really hard to deal with as an AD carry sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that we kind of have glossed over here is the fact that they have the Lulu Darius combo. This isn't going to be super prevalent in the early game, but later on, Lulu speeding up a Darius, giving him shields, slows, buffing him up. Those Juggernauts are going to deal tons of damage in the late game if they are enabled by the Lulu. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing these comps clash later on. So many interesting dynamics here in the team comps.
Yeah, I mean, great point. I mean, before we cut to a break, give it to me straight. Whose draft are you favoring here in Game 1? Virtual Gaming Unity or Team Ambition Prime?
If you asked me about 5 minutes ago when they locked in the Darius, I would say TAP. But you really have to execute so well. And we have seen TAP execute extremely well. I do think if the Kindred can get ahead early, it's going to be extremely hard for VG to come back in the game. But if VGU can keep it even, I do favor the Zeri Viego scaling. So honestly, I've got to give it to VGU this game. I think they're going to take Game 1.
All right, well, you heard it here from the color caster, Izzo himself. Virtue Gaming Unity has the draft advantage. I would be inclined to agree. They have the scaling advantage for sure, and I like giving the edge to scaling advantage. But as we discussed, Team Ambition Prime has that crazy early game action, has the Lulu mid and the Darius X factor. So we'll have to see which team can convert. We'll be right back with Game 1 of the night. Virtue Gaming Unity versus Team Ambition Prime in ADL Round 1. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, everyone, into game one of the night. If you're just joining us, I am number 2 Ginger, joined by Izzo on the Color Cast tonight for this beautiful Tuesday night ADL playoffs round one of the first game of a 5-game series. Izzo, we spent a while talking about draft, but in game now, what do you think the early game priorities really should be for both teams?
I'd really like to see the Viego try to make some plays around mid if possible. We mentioned this in the draft. The Viego Ari does have a ton of burst damage. At the same time, though, Lulu taking the exhaust in mid, which makes it a lot harder for VGU to make those kind of plays. So, honestly, I think VGU's angles here in the early game are a little bit more narrow. Maybe they try to focus towards the bot lane instead. If they can try get some engage from Tom Kench onto the Leona Kaisa, I do think that could be something that could be good for them. We'll have to see, though. Overall, I think the Viego should probably try to avoid the Kindred in the early game at all costs and try to make plays away from that Kindred. So we'll see if he can do that. And yeah.
So looking in the mid lane, PVS has started Cull on Lulu and also has Exhaust. So he's just going complete Giga hyperscaling and playing safe in lane, which indicates to me that the quality player is going to have a lot of initiative in this lane. However, getting that extra on-hit damage for Lulu's autos might be a bit hard for quality to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I do honestly like the cold start here from the Lulu. You're not really going to be doing much on your own. A lot of the point of the Lulu mid is to buff up the Kindred. We see that with the exhaust as well. No TP, so yeah, I do like the Cole, and we see here already in the early game, Lulu is destroying the Ahri, like you said, with that on-hit damage.
Yeah, I mean, Quality is also eating a lot of Pix's damage. You want to try to trade within your minions against Lulu because of that extra passive Pix damage, and right there, PBS got a big burst as well just with his damage, and Quality already having a rough time seeing this Lulu pick work out. That is kind of the benefit of these enchanters. They do bully a lot earlier with their high base damages, but they will fall off as the game goes on longer and longer. But both junglers pathing into the top side this game. PVS already at Virtual Gaming Unity's turret. And, excuse me, Zohair is pathing into the bot side, and Bad is pathing into the top side. So we'll see a split map here. We'll see if any team gets some ganks out early.
Yep, this definitely favors VGU. The Viego, like I said earlier, Viego wants to avoid the Kindred at all costs in the early game, and looks like he's done that so far. We'll see if he can make a play in the bottom lane. Looks like bot lane is going to be pushing here, so not much of an angle for Viego. Maybe he'll look mid. Either way, though, even if nothing happens, definitely in favor for Viego here. He just wants to scale up, not have anything happen in the early game against that Kindred.
Yeah, I mean, to point out that TAP has no TPs in their entire team. Reform Top took Ghost as you do on Darius, and PBS took the Exhaust in the mid lane for that early fighting, the 2v2. Quality player misses the charm on the mid lane. Now Bad is here looking to go forward. The Exhaust gun comes out. Flash forward from Bad, trying to find the finish. One more auto is going to do it. Flash forward from Zohair is not going to land the stun on PVS. Now Bad trying to run away, gets the shield. Does he have enough damage? Zohair is going pretty low here. One more auto is going to do it. Bad decides to dash away instead of forward for the kill. Didn't want to risk getting turned on, and in the end, it is first blood going over to TA Prime.
Yeah, I mean, just solid gank there from Bad on the Kindred. We have so many slows here from the Lulu, both in the Exhaust and the Lulu Q. So kind of just ran down quality there. Burned his flash as well. Really nice gank from the Kindred. And then we saw the Viego. Oh, we have a play in the mid lane. Here comes the
dive in the mid lane. Stun's gonna land, and Quality's gonna pick that one. Excuse me, Zohair picks that one up as Quality was taking tower. And that's the TP difference there. Quality was able to TP back on the wave and force PVS to either be under tower at 1 HP or miss 2 waves, and Zohair was there to punish it. So a great play from Virtual Gaming Unity.
Yeah, extremely clean there as well. We saw a quality player tank the turret aggro first, as Zohair was a bit low, and they got the one shot down. Only took 1 tower shot. Extremely clean play there from VGU, and great macro there with the TP, like you said.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, you know, we're seeing bot lane going very well for Virtue Gaming Unity. Arch has that cleanse, so it's very hard for Respirit to actually engage. He will just get cleansed by Arch, and then Ichirat has so much follow-up damage. Both supports taking exhaust, so no ignites across the board here. A bit surprised to see Respirit take the exhaust this game, but it is nice to slow down the Zeri, do whatever you can to really catch up to that champion.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why he would take the exhaust. VGU does have a few kind of hyper carry type champions in the Zeri and Viego, so exhaust on them would be pretty valuable, especially the Viego when he's going in. So I do like that. It does signal that I guess they're probably not going to be playing for lane. The Kaisa and Leona lane could be kind of an aggro lane if you take the Ignite. Kaisa does have a lot of burst with CC type supports, but yeah, opting for that exhaust is fine. And now we see both junglers moving topside as well as the Ahri. Looks like she's just going to drop a ward and head back to mid though, as Darius is getting pushed in.
Yeah, everyone dancing up in that top side. Virtue Gaming knows they need to protect a Wild Terry up here. If this Darius gets going, gets a kill or two, it can spell disaster very, very quickly. So keeping that lane state top stable is very, very vital. And we've seen in LCS this week in that Ornn is starting to get the big prio out. It feels like every split once playoff comes around, or Ornn just becomes the best top laner in the game for some reason. So I love me some Ornn gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so safe, so tanky. It's pretty hard to take advantage of him in the early game, and we've seen that so far. I mean, they have the Darius here, the hard counter to Ornn. He's only down about 15 CS. I mean, not exactly what you want, but he's not dead yet, so that's pretty good. And the Darius is not snowballing, so Ornn doing his job so far. Kindred trying to go up there, but now we have a play in the bot lane here.
Yeah, I mean, Ichira is just being an annoying little frog, licking Respirit, stopping the back, and killing the tempo a bit of the bot lane for TA Prime. Shaminian was able to get back, but Respirit is a bit late, so that means Virtue Gaming is going to get the shove in bot and be able to answer with a reset of their own. But a very quiet early game so far besides the mid plays. Gold is dead even though TAP got first blood. And, you know, although there's a decent farm lead in the top lane for Reform top, Virtue Gaming Unity has a massive farm lead on this Zeri, and that is not the champion you want to see ahead in the early game if you're TAP.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw that the Kaisa was the immediate answer here.
Ghost pop, top Reform, looking for the play. He's going to get the 5th stack here. No, misses the 5th Q. Now looking into turret range here. Comes the call of the Forge Drop. Going to get the knock. Wild Terry gets the solo kill. Reform top decides not to flash anything. Eats all the damage. And a Wild Terry solo kills the Masters player on TA Prime.
That is not what you want to see if you're TA Prime. This Darius was supposed to be a huge strong point for the early game for TAP to play through. And now he's dead. Down CS. We mentioned Ornn was down 15 CS earlier. Not anymore. He's up 3. This is a huge swing here for VG Unity. And putting down this Darius is so important for the vitality of their chances this game.
Yeah, now both junglers hovering bot side here. We do see Bad has control of the river, whereas Zohair is on Krugs right now, playing it a bit safe, but hovering his jungler. Quality player is going to get caught here by Bad, gets a nice charm, but is going to have to Spirit Rush away. Bad isn't able to follow forward with PVS collapsing, but forcing out the Spirit Rush is very nice. We'll get some mid prio now for a PVS, and maybe we see TA Prime look to maybe set up Dragon bot lane play. Not going to come through, and Bad's going to go back into his own jungle.
Yeah, I mean, getting out that Spirit Rush is pretty nice here for TAP. It could open up some gank opportunities mid in the next few minutes, as Ahri is very immobile without her ult. But at the moment, looks like Bad is just going to be farming up. Still, kind of just hanging out. Not really doing too much. Probably just going to grab Red and Krugs and maybe look top, but yeah, I mean, pretty chill here for this early game, and that favors VG Unity.
Yeah, Virtue Gaming Unity definitely chilling right now. Again, gold still even with the kill advantage. We have a big jungle farm lead for Bad. So here, you know, being a bit slower on the farm, having to hover a lot of his lanes to make sure they don't fall behind since he does have weaker lanes. So he does have to sacrifice farm in that regard. Now it looks like Bad is looking into the top side jungle of Virtue Gaming Unity, whereas Zohair is still stuck on that bot side. Gonna take his red buff and find a lot of his camps gone. Instead, gonna go for that bot scuttle, take away the mark. Bit of unlucky for Bad. It spawned on the bot side. Feels bad when you don't get the mark on the right side, but what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, good thing for VG Unity. They actually spout out the Kindred, so looks like they're going to be turning on to Dragon here. The Viego gets a second crab, gets a Dragon. I mean, it's really looking great for the Viego in this game.
Yeah, it looks like TA Prime's going to trade the Rift Herald in exchange. Watching Reform top is tilting me a little bit. He just had a wave shoving into him with his team doing Rift Herald. That could easily lead to a freeze or a kill on Wild Terry, but instead he decides to push the wave for fun. So expecting a bit more out of this master tier player in the wave management department. A little disappointed, but, you know, what can you do? Nice hook there, pulling in Wild Terry. Is going to force out the call of the Forge God. Is going to get the dunk, bring Terry down to 1 HP. Is it enough to kill? Almost. The bleed is going to do it. Now a solo kill back, getting his revenge on Terry with a perfectly timed hook.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know if that's unlucky or just really great play from Reform Top. I feel like it's more unlucky, but either way, nice moves there, Reform Top, getting out the solo kill, and now it looks like the full tower is going to be going down top with the Rift Herald active. So really, really nice for TA Prime, getting that snowball. Looks like they're actually not going to finish the tower, so maybe keeping the Ornn in lane further and trying to use that Darius to punish him even more.
Yeah, Terry doesn't burn his TP here. He does let Quality Player move up and get the wave for him. So a bunch of plates going over to Bad and Reform Top. Bad already having that completed Kraken Slayer on the Kindred. So going to be quite massive and a big problem for VG Unity to deal with that Lulu as well. Going to be buffing him up the rest of this game. You know, on the bot side though, Arch, another 20 CS lead, has 3 plates of his own. Going to be very close to that Triforce. So you feel like it's going to be a battle of the AD carries here between Bad and Arch this game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, not the biggest fan of the Nashor's, or the Kraken Slayer on Kindred. I do understand why he would go that, considering that VG Unity has big beefy Tahm Kench and Ornn. Generally, little fight going on here.
Zohair looked for the stun. It wasn't going to get it. Bad turns around, gets a bunch of burst damage. A nice sidestep on the Void Seeker from Shaminian. Gets a Zohair out of harm's way. But yeah, that sums up pretty much the Viego versus Kindred matchup as you were talking. Once Viego misses that stun, Kindred gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to what I was saying about the Kindred build, actually, another fight happened
coming in top. Reform Top popping the Ghost, gets the 5th stack off, has the dunk if he needs it, is going to pop it, Terry down to 1 HP, the bleed coming out. I think it's going to be enough damage, and it is the 5th stack coming out, and another solo kill up in the top lane as he had the full Divine Sunder. It was too much for Terry to deal with, and we are starting to see now the power of this counter pick.
Yeah, you know, a little bit of a blunder early from Reform Top, but he's taken back nicely.
Quality Player gets a charm through. Has the Everfrost, gets a double stun. Zohair looking for the finish, but he's caught out a bit. The exhaust comes through from Spirit. Now the Flash over PBS is going to make sure that Zohair goes down, and a bad play turns to worse for Virtue Gaming Unity as Team Ambition Prime is starting to take over the game in the top side.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see if you're TA Prime. You want the top side to be accelerated. You have the Darius, already has the tower down at less than 13 minutes, now getting more kills in the top jungle. This is exactly what you want to avoid as VG Unity. And, yeah, I mean, great play from TAP to take advantage here of this counter pick.
Yeah, and you know, we're starting to see like the differences in the composition that TA Prime really has the initiative to do whatever they want. Call the Forge God coming out mid onto PVS. Remember, he has no flash. He's going to get knocked up. Quality Player is going to run at forward, hits the Everfrost, hits the charm. Kill is going to go over to Quality. A nice pick in the mid lane right back for Virtue Gaming Unity.
Yeah, PVS, I guess, just stepping a bit too far up, not respecting the length of the Ornn engage. So he's going to go down. Slight blunder, but it won't really matter in the long run. Nice little kill, but VG Unity probably not going to get too much of this, so let's see what they can do here in the next minute. Looks like Respirit might be going for a play in the mid lane as Kaisa and Kindred come around.
Yeah, Shaminian's coming forward here. Bad is still on the Wolves camp. Virtue Gaming Unity staying very aggressive up in here. Remember, full sums on the bot lane of Virtue Gaming Unity plus the eat from Ichirat makes it very, very hard to kill Arch. There comes the Sentinel Blade in, gonna stun up Ichirat. I think he's gonna be the target here. He's gonna flash away. Still has the exhaust if needed, but no, they're gonna accept the flash for the stuns from Spirit. And that's, you know, more summoners down from Virtue Gaming Unity with Dragon spawning in 30 seconds.
Yeah, another thing that you just don't want as VG Unity. You know, you thought that you had, you know, nice little mid push. You have the numbers, but in the end, Tahm Kench has to flash away from Leona as the Kindred is extremely strong right now. So nice job taking advantage there from TA Prime. And now they have a nice little advantage coming into this Dragon, summoner advantage, and they're looking to take advantage.
Yeah, TA Prime playing with fire there in that funnel with Kindred in base. Thankfully, Wild Terry did not have called the Forge God, or that was looking real bad. Here comes the engage over on Wild Terry. Only gets a knockup on Reform Top. Zeri's in the backline now. Charm comes out under Spirit, is going to be able to Zanya's away. Remember, that's only the Leona. Here comes the reset, though. Zohair gets it for Reform Top. Has the resets, gets 2 dunks, 3 dunks, a triple kill. Coming out for Reform Top, and now Arch is still alive, doing all the damage he can, but he is still so weak. He's still this early into the game on Zeri. He needs more time. The hook is going to miss. Quality player doing what he can, but PVS is providing so much shields. The heal comes out from Reform top. Gonna get the dunk onto Arch. Not enough damage. Quality player still trying to put out the damage, but this Lulu is just so unbeatable with the Moonstone Renewer, with the shields. Reform top was taking negative damage, and a huge fight win for Team Ambition Prime.
Yeah, I mean, this Lulu doing so much here. I think she got a 3-man knockup with her ult there in the fight, not letting anyone die. So the Viego can't really be getting those resets. Leonardo did go down, but that's not who you want as the Viego. So TA Prime with a nice team fight. And you could see at the end there, Juggernaut's gonna Juggernaut. He was trying to get on these carries here from VG Unity, but, you know, got kited out. And the Lulu, again, coming in, making sure he doesn't die, trying to speed him up. And yeah, you could really see the dynamics in TA Prime's team comp coming to life there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a forced engage from Wild Terry. He had no call to Forge God. He simply just dashed in, only got a knock-up on Reform top. And, you know, as an Ornn, you need to be doing more than that. You need to be able to create space and set up your team. At the same time, Respirit doing so much work that fight, was able to tank so much damage with that stopwatch buy. Such a clutch purchase and such a clutch tank up, as even though Zohair was able to get the reset on him, 5 stacks were already out there for Reform top, and he got all of those dunk resets. And man, this Darius champion can be a bit nuts once he gets that 5 stacks.
Yeah, and he is 5-1 in this game. He is massive. He is almost 2 items now at 16 minutes. Huge, has the ghost. I'm looking for him to completely take over team fights going forward. It's not looking good for VG Unity this game.
Yeah, VGU gonna take up the Rift Herald here. No contest from Team Ambition. They're happy to let PVS shove in the bot lane, get some XP for himself. And it looks like Bad is down there as well. They're gonna pressure that tower, so it's gonna be even more gold going down. No, TP's coming out from Wild Terry on this bot tower. Going to be able to contest it. I don't think Tia is strong enough to go for a dive here, so Wild Terry's going to burn that TP to make sure it survives. No big objectives coming up for a little bit, so it is okay to do. A little bit of poke coming out on Form top. Virtue Immunity just dancing around the mid lane.
Yeah, and TA Prime trying to take advantage of the Kindred Lulu pairing here in the bot lane, trying to take down the tower. It didn't work out in the end, but you can see their thought process here. You know, trying to get these champions together to get some work done. And now a little bit of skirmishing here in the mid lane. Looks like it's not going to amount to much, but TA Prime might be looking for this mid-tier 1.
Yeah, it's hard for either team to really force a fight without these Team 1 mid towers down, and that's exactly what Team Ambition Prime now wants to do in order to open up the map for themselves. They are going to take this down to 1 HP. A Wild Terry is coming up here. Zohair is pushing up a little bit. Here comes Call the Forge God. Ichirat's in the backline. Gets a lot. Leona's already down, but Reform top has the resets. Bad going down to 1 HP, but the Kindred ulti comes down. Arch flashes away, but he wasn't immune, and now Reform top going sicko mode gets 2. And that's a 3-for-1 coming out for TA Prime off a fantastic ultimate from Bad, keeping his teammates alive, not letting Arch pop off in the fight.
Yeah, and I mean, you can really see how Viego and Kindred interact this game. Earlier, Bad popped his ultimate on the Kindred early, and Zohair was almost able to get a kill back, but now this time, Zohair trying to go in. Bad is able to pop the ult and stop any resets coming out. So, you know, a bit of an even matchup in these team fights, but Bad coming out on top this time.
Reform top, 7-1, a 700 gold bounty. It's really, we're seeing the power of the Darius Lulu that you mentioned. He's just so hard for Virtue Gaming Unity to kill simply because they don't have a lot of sustained damage. It's all Zeri. Ari is burst damage. Viego is a lot of burst damage, especially with the Sunderer build. So it's very hard to actually take down this Darius through his heals and through the Lulu shields and even the Lamb's Respite if Kindred's able to get up there with him. So many factors keep this man alive. So I think VG really just has to try to find Reform top in a side lane, get that bounty for themselves, and try to continue scaling. You have the ornaments coming in a few levels. You have a dragon, so you can concede a few. I say that, but Virtue Gaming wants to step up and contest this vision with no TP on a Wild Terry. So we'll have to see if they let this dragon go or if they contest it.
Yeah, if I was VGU, I would certainly be letting this dragon go. This is not a time that you want to be fighting this Darius. 7-1, you just got slaughtered in the last team fight, so definitely want to be trying to get these bounties in the side lanes. You see, no one in the top lane. You could have someone up there trying to collect that tier 1 top bounty, you know, instead of just standing around the dragon here. They do figure it out in the end, so they're going to start moving towards the top side, trying to clear mid. While TA Prime is able to take the dragon, but it might be a little bit too late here. I don't know if they're going to be able to get anything.
But remember, they still have the Rift Herald too, so like you were saying, if they were faster with this reaction, they can get 2 towers in the top side with that Rift Herald. They could have gotten so much, just tower gold and objective bounty gold this whole time. They pop it now, but it's a little bit too late. They're going to get 1 tower, but not the second one, which would have been a huge gold value swing, 1.5k maybe, which is absolutely massive when your team needs these second item power spikes. And now it looks like TA Prime is rotating up here. Kindred's still on a dragon, so Virtue Gaming wants a fight. They might be able to find it. They're going to try to let the Rift Herald crash, get a second one. I don't think they're going to be able to take the tower. Reform Top is up here with no ghost. And here comes a second crash. Does TA Prime look for the engage here? Tower's going low. Quality players look for the charm, misses it. The hook comes out from Reform Top, doesn't hear anyone, so it's a Spirit Rush. Gets away with murder there on the charm. Dragon eventually traded out, and the bot lane push coming out from bad. So in the end, they do get 2 towers.
Yeah, and I mean, TAP had probably the best response they could. They had Kindred solo the dragon, and they went to defend top, but I guess they just thought they weren't strong enough, didn't want to take a fight. They probably didn't know that Terry was just kind of chilling mid for no reason. I think if Terry was in the top lane, it could have been extremely good for VG Unity trying to initiate a 5v4 fight with Kindred in the bot side. That didn't happen though. In the end, VG Unity takes the 2 tower bounties. Solid gold swing for them.
Yeah, and yeah, you definitely have your PowerPoints coming up online. Quality player with 2 items, Arch with 2 items, even a Wild Terry coming up on 1.5 items. Level 12, again, level 13 is that big power spec we're looking for to get the ornaments online. You get one on Arch, you get one on Quality player, and you're looking pretty good. You're looking like you might be able to win a fight. Arch has had glimpses of if he was just a little bit stronger, he'd be able to take over the fights, but at the same time, Lulu has that Ardent Sensor. Bad has that LDR building into an RFC, I believe. And even Shaminian working up to that Luden's power spike, which is going to be such a devastating power spike for Virtue Gaming to deal with. So as we move into the 25-minute mark, I feel like we're going to see one big fight that's going to decide the game.
Yeah, most likely. And I have to say, it does favor TA Prime at this moment. I really like the Ardent Sensor buy from PVS here, coming out after the Moonstone. All 3 of his carries are very much benefited by that Ardent Sensor. Darius, Kindred, and Kaisa all will use that attack speed. So big fan of that buy here. And TA Prime still getting stronger, same as VG Unity. So we'll have to see how this last fight is going to go out, if it is the last fight even.
Yeah, TA Prime already has that upgraded Void Seeker on Shaminian. It's not with the Ludens yet. A lot of damage coming out under a Spirit. Not going to fall off with the engage on that is still a Leona. However, some nice poke will give Virtue Gaming Unity some initiative to push in, and we have devolved to the NA Ram, boys. It is the time of the month. There comes the flash in on the bad. Knockup's going to come through. Quality player on the side gets the charm on to Spirit. Going to flash away, but a huge solar flare comes out in response. Going to instantly pop Ichirat. And now here comes the turn from TA Prime. Gonna get the Void Seekers out to poke Shaminian down to half HP. PVS healing up what he can. Charm is not going to land. Now turning their tails over to the Baron Pit. Virtual Gaming Unity still a healthy 4 members. They still have ultimates on Arch and Zohair. TA Prime starting up this Baron as 5. They are down the Leona ulti, but besides that, they have everything up. Virtue Gaming Unity has to step in if they want to contest this. 4K, 3K, vision is up. Is Virtue Gaming Unity going to do something about the flash forward? It's not going to be in time. It is taken down by TA Prime, and then Zohair is going to die in trade, trying to flash in for the Heartbreaker for the steal. It was just way too late. Virtue Gaming Unity trying to take this mid tower in response. Now on the retreat, Arch going to dash a light year over the wall. Fantastic champion. Void Seeker comes out, is not going to hit anyone. And now Bad on the chase, has the move speed from PVS. Quality player has flash, but no Spirit Rush. Bad is so quick. And now Wild Terry on the retreat. That is going to stop the chase from TA Prime. And in the end, TA Prime with the Baron with 2 kills get out with a 5K gold lead.
Yeah, really well executed from TA Prime. After that fight, they go straight to Baron. They know that they can destroy that Baron. They have Kindred with the Kraken Slayer. They have Lulu speeding everyone's attack speed, Kaisa and Darius all doing a lot of damage to the Baron. So really good decision from them to just start the Baron straight up. And VG Unity, a bit slow to respond. They did not have much vision there, so it's extremely hard for them. They did end up trading for that mid-tower bounty, which is probably the best they could have done. I think they would have gotten slaughtered if they tried to contest. But yeah. In the end, TA Prime take the Baron, and they're going to look to take some towers.
Yeah, I mean, in the heat of the moment, it's such a hard call to make to figure out what to do there. And I'm glad VG Unity was able to at least get the mid tower instead of getting nothing. Definitely a
Absolutely.
super hard decision to make. But Dragon now spawning in 30 seconds. You have to figure that this one is 100% TA Primes, and it's going to put them on Mountain Soul Point, which is not what you want to see if you're VG Unity. A very strong soul to have, especially with how many shields they already have with the Lulu on the team. So going to be super hard for VGU to deal with, and you know they might start thinking they're on a timer at this point. Once that dragon is slain, they have until next soul to get like a game-winning fight to decide the game, which would be at about the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see TA Prime maybe try to use these waves here instead of just kind of running around in the bot jungle and not taking dragon. They did look to try to take that bot tower with the Baron, and they did. So solid play there, but yeah, they are gonna get that soul point here. And gonna be now using the Baron to push lanes. So, you know, in the end, still gonna be looking to take towers.
Yeah, TA Prime was able to pick up that dragon, third dragon from himself, stacking up some nice drags here. Gonna look to get this mid tier too. They still have 30 seconds left on the Baron. So like you said, a pretty inefficient usage of Baron, all things said and done. They get a dragon. They get mid tier 2. They might be able to get another mid tower. They still have 30 seconds. They're going to go forward here. They are very hard to stop. Zohair's not here. Quality player looking for the charm. Is going to miss once again. Goes down to half HP. So much damage from this Kindred at this point in the game with that RFC as well. Mid tower going down low is going to fall. 15 seconds left on the Baron. Charm, it comes out, but it's not going to matter. Inhibitor is going to fall as well. And TA Prime is just a walking death ball that Virtua Gaming Unity simply cannot contest.
Yeah, and I mean, we can see Quality player fishing for these charms, using his ult. He had 2 chances there. Was not able to connect with the charm. It's extremely difficult to try to hit the Kindred with the charm, to be fair to him. Yeah, I mean, VG Unity doing what they can here. Not much you can really do when extremely fed Darius Kindred Lulu is running down at your mid tower with Baron. So, yeah, I mean, they give it the inhib. And now looking to just try to farm off these super minions, try to get as much gold as possible before the game-deciding fight that inevitably is going to come up here in the next 3 or so minutes.
Yeah, Terry has hit level 13. He is starting to scale up, get some items for his teammates. Giving the red buff over to Arch. Arch is getting strong in his own regard, about halfway to his 3rd item. At this point in the game, Quality player has fallen off a lot in damage. And same with Zohair going with that Death Stand 2nd. So really all the damage for Virtua Gaming Unity is on Arch, on the Zeri. It's really on him to find a fight where he can get unleashed and his team can hold off long enough for him to do damage. But the problem is, can he really out DPS Bad? Can he out DPS Shaman? And can he even out DPS Reform Top? It's feeling less and less likely, even with the more items he gets. So if it's, you know, without a lead here, with, you know, you could say down an astronomical amount, it feels, even though it's only 6k, 7k gold, the pressure is so crazy with the double support comp. It's very hard to see how VGU gets that back in this game without a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, we can see VGU knows what you were saying, but now a charm.
Charm looking for the play, but remember PVS is a Lulu. He has the shield, has the ultimate, and is going to pop it on himself. Still has the exhaust as well. Charm now coming over Reform Top, going to get locked down for a while. There comes the Solar Flare, not going to hit much. Zohair has to flash away, bleeding out, and all of Team Ambition Prime is still full HP. This is what Lulu does with that Moonstorm Renewer, keeping everyone so healthy through the shield. Such an underrated aspect of Lulu. And now TAP looking to push in farther, maybe looking for the finish. It's still a straight 5v5. Ultimates are down from a few champions on each side. You know, no engage left from Virtua Gaming Unity, no Spirit Rush, no Call of the Forge God. Whereas TA Prime still has pretty much all their crucial ultimates. They have the support ultimates coming up very soon. Bad is going to get stunned up on tower, but dashes away. More shields out from PVS, playing a great supportive role. And here goes the first tower, gonna go down. TAP really pushing to end the game here. A big 5-man hook from Reform Top onto the entire team of VG Unity. Oh, Ram's Sprite comes out, and there goes Zohair looking for it. Arch is trying to make the damage. It's Arch versus Bad. They're both doing so much, but it's going in the favor of TA Prime. Arch looking to clean up what he can, gets exhausted, looking for the finish, but the exhaust is just too much for VGU to handle. If Arch wasn't exhausted there, he might have been able to clean up and get the miracle fight, but it's not going to happen as Team Ambition Prime is going to take down game 1 of the series.
Yeah, well played there in the end from TA Prime. Just knowing that they're so strong. Like you said, they have all the ultimates. There's no Call of the Forge God there for VG Unity, so, you know, not much they can do. And they just charge down in, take a nice fight, being so far ahead and yeah, just end the game.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a crazy last fight, and you saw the glimpse of Arch just getting strong enough to actually start contesting in these fights and start making a difference and start really being impactful. Granted, it was off the back of Team Ambition Prime fighting under towers, doing whatever they could to end the game as fast as they could. But a fantastic performance from Team Ambition Prime there in game two.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I think this draft here was pretty good for TAP. They executed extremely well. They had really great time in the top side. Even after the Wild Terry solo kill on the Darius, he still ended up getting slaughtered in this counter matchup. And I think the Kindred Lulu did a great job of moving up there, taking that advantage, snowballing it further, and TAP just ran away with the game from that.
Yeah, so it was great game one by TAP. We're going to take a quick break while we wait for game two to get started up. Don't go anywhere. We've only in game one of a best of five. Plenty more to go tonight. We will be right back.
So hold our heads up high and beat the drums to what we love. Risk the fall, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding. Only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of a world that we defy. A soul ray of the few who rise up high. And we all fight at the last strike. Hearing voices from afar. Join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back from that short break. We're in here for game two. Teams have swapped sides. Teams are ready to go and shake it up for the second game. I am back once again with Izzo on this fantastic Tuesday night. Izzo, we saw a pretty long game one, over 30 minutes there. It felt like pretty TAP favored for the majority of the time after, let's say, 10, 15 minutes. What are you looking for both teams to change up?
You know, I was a big fan of VG's draft going into game one. They had great scaling. They just weren't able to suppress that Darius, even with the Wild Terry solo kill. So I don't know. I think maybe they should choose a comp with a little bit more agency. The Viego did not have a lot of opportunity there in the previous game to make anything happen, especially with the Lulu going exhaust, taking the coal, playing extremely passive. So Yeah, I'm looking for VGU to maybe draft a little bit more agency in their draft. And we'll see. We do see the Kindred coming out as the third ban here for VGU instead of the Nautilus. So gonna ban that out and now pick up the Nautilus for themselves.
Yeah, it definitely feels like VGU didn't realize TAV had the Kindred answer to Viego, or there wasn't expecting it to be like that bad of a matchup. They never played it, considering they blinded it and were blindsided by it. So with the Kindred ban, you feel like VGU might be lining up for that Viego again, looking for a better matchup potentially. TAP taking that Karma instead of banning it for themselves. That is, again, a three-way flex pick. VGU taking that Nautilus pretty much means they want to keep that Karma away from the bot lane if possible, or TAP just egos it and takes the Karma into the matchup. But, I am a big fan of flexing that Karma top personally. I feel like most of the Bruiser matchups just feel so good for Karma. VGU gonna lock in the Viego, as I was just talking about, with that Kindred ban. So we'll see what TAP has as an answer this time.
Yeah, I think there's a plethora of different counter picks that you can take into the Viego. Not exactly sure what their jungler plays. I'll take a look here. As hovering Ashe Karma, extremely strong bot lane, tons of priority. So you can take either some sort of scaling jungler. Rammus might fall under that category, or you could take more of a aggressive jungler. Try to maybe counter jungle the Viego early on, get into his jungle, mess him up a little bit, as that is his weak point. So we'll see what they decide to pick here on B3. The Rammus hover right now. I don't know if that's very good. Not a very strong champion at the moment, I would think, but into Viego, maybe not that bad.
Yeah, switched up to Graves there. That's going to be the lock-in. So again, another flex pick into that top jungle role. You'd assume it's being picked into the Viego, but you could move it top. And that Ashe pick is dissuading the Zeri pick from VGU. Ashe is a great counter pick into Zeri. So instead of banning it, they were able to just take the Ashe, and now VGU is put in a situation where they kind of want to take the Zeri, but also don't want to get destroyed in lane. So they have to figure out what they want to do to actually answer that. Veigar is the hover from Virtue Gaming Unity, a super strong champion in my opinion right now, super prevalent in the mid lane and can be flexed bot lane as well. Could even be the answer to that Ashe Karma lane, as we have seen a few games from Arch playing that champion. So I really like this pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Veigar is extremely underrated in the meta right now. I think Veigar could be a B1 or R1 type champion. He's just so versatile. Not only, like you said, he is a flex pick, could be put into the bot lane, even support, but he is extremely strong mid. That cage is just so disruptive for so many champions in the meta right now. It can get down to somewhat like a 6 or 7 second cooldown as the game scales on, which is so strong. And having that baby cage on such a low cooldown, such a big ability. So yeah, I really like the Veigar pick. Could be an answer to the Ashe. Could also just be a solid blind mid on R3. So we'll have to see how the draft progresses, as now Silas is taken off the table from VGU.
Yeah, banning that Silas was a pretty clear sign that VGU might want to angle towards the Malphite here. You already have Ashe Graves locked in, so pretty heavy AD. TAP gonna take out the Gangplank, it looks like, as a ban. Yeah, they are. So VGU still has that Malphite if they want it. It kind of forces the Graves into the jungle position, along with making TAP take a heavy AP champion, which Veigar is going to like. So I'm curious what... if TAP is actually going to leave the Malphite open, is VGU is just going to take it. If it was a bait with the Silas ban, not too sure what they're going with here. Granted, Silas is a great matchup as well into Veigar. Silas can bully Veigar a lot in the early game when Veigar is just trying to get some stacks up. So, not bad bans. And then there's the Darius with the respect over to Reform Top after that fantastic Darius game. Even though he had the blunder early, right after he just got 2 easy kills, and Terry probably was not very happy.
Yeah, and slightly surprised personally to see the Darius ban here on red side, considering that they'll probably have to blind it. But I guess that does angle towards the fact that VGU is looking to take top lane here on R4, trying not to get countered by that Darius. So respect there from VGU. As now Tristana ban coming out from TAP. Very good engage in the bot lane with Nautilus. Could actually take down the Ashe Karma early on, so they do not want to be... fizzled there in the bot lane, as Karma Ashe should be a strong lane pick. So good ban there from TAP. And now we have 7 seconds here on VGU's R4, which is looking to be the Malphite, as you mentioned earlier.
What an exciting pick. I love Malphite. So simple. Great picks like these, just easy to pull off champions. Nautilus, Vigar, Malphite, Viego. There's no complicated mechanics in any four of these champions besides maybe Viego taking a complicated champion. That's what you got to do to beat these teams that are better than you on paper, that you know have the better hands, that can just be the better players mechanically. You force them to play these fancy mechanical picks with Graves, Karma, Ash. You take the easy picks, the ones that will get the job done and get it done right, that you really can't mess up. That is what you want to be seeing. TAP has the counter pick into Malphite, and it looks like it's going to be the Nasus into the Malphite.
Love that Nasus.
It's a fantastic pick. Nasus just has a free farming lane that Malphite can't punish. This is, something you never see in competitive, but is brought up time and time again by a variety of coaches, that you could just pull it off in angles like this, where Nasus is just free farming, is going to be a menace in the side lane that no one can answer, is going to be able to run down these picks like Malphite, Nautilus, Viego, and Karthus as well with the lock-in for Team Ambition Prime. So they're just going full whatever, crazy picks. I love to see it.
I love this pivot from TAP and Draft. They see that VGU has the Viego and the Veigar, two hard scaling picks. They have the Malphite top, not a great lane to play through, so they just go full scaling here with the Nasus Karthus. Karthus, great in this team comp, not really any AP. Nasus, great into the Malphite, can just farm up all game. So VGU locking in the MF now as R5, trying to get something going in the bot lane, as they really are going to have to punish early game, as Nasus Karthus is going to be impossible to deal with later on.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out lanes here. So it's Karma Ash bot. It should be, is it Karthus mid and Graves jungle and Nasus top, or is it maybe Graves mid and Karthus jungle?
I think if I was TAP, I would be playing the Karthus mid. I think that's a bit better. Although I could see it the other way around. I think both are actually fine. Graves solid into Viego. He's going to be able to counter jungle that Viego, have all the priority early on, kind of similar to the Kindred matchup from last game. But Karthus also in the mid lane here, kind of just outscales the Veigar, I guess. Kind of hard to outscale the Veigar. I guess it's kind of even, but I don't know. We'll see going into Champion Select where they decide to take those picks, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, TAP definitely has great scaling and great individual scaling champions, but their team fight is severely lacking. They have quite literally one hard CC ability in Ash R. I guess you could say Karma, her end of her W is hard CC, but literally nothing else on that team is hard CC. Whereas Virtue Gaming Unity has the Nautilus, has the Viego. 4 of their 5 champions have some form of hard CC to get picks on these champions like Karma, Ash, Graves, Karthus, that are all super squishy. So if TAP doesn't get a massive lead through these innovative picks, they're just going to fall apart in team fights.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that happening. I'm looking for TAP here to be playing through the bot lane. I think if you can try to match that Nautilus MF, which is obviously kind of more of a lane pick, I think the Karma Ash could be a great transition point to get Nasus and Karthus into the later game. In team fights, I could see VGU engaging here into TAP, and TAP then wouldn't really have an issue with not having any hard CC because they just have so much damage from Nasus Karthus later on. They will just obliterate pretty much every champion on VGU. So, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how the early game plays out and how that's going to affect the later game fights.
Yeah, so I am getting confirmation it's going to be the Graves jungle and the Karthus mid with the Nasus top. So I'm excited to see this Karthus mid against the Veigar. Karthus, if played to the full extent, can be a very big lane bully in the early game against something like Veigar, but it's such a skill-intensive champion that it can be very, very difficult to pull off, and you're extremely vulnerable to just constant ganks from the Viego with the Veigar cage.
Yeah, absolutely. Karthus, extremely immobile. Veigar, really good into those type of champions. Even if you don't get the stun, just having them in the cage, having Viego be able to walk up, it's so free. And that's definitely something that I want to see VG Unity try to be punishing here in the early game. Graves potentially could be counter ganking these. I think if he can, that's the best thing that he could be doing. Just trying to match the Viego, trying to get this team into the late game. We'll have to see what his strategy is going to be going into the game. I think he could do a few things here, and all of them are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have like a complete flip-flop for both teams in like how the draft played out. in play styles. A lot of the times you'll kind of see runbacks for game 1 and 2. A team, even though they lost, feels like maybe it wasn't the draft problem, it was just a player problem. But this game, both teams just said, screw it. We're going to play completely differently. Virtue Gaming taking an aggressive support this time, has a strong control mage in the mid lanes of the aggressive Ahri. You have the Malphite. I guess that's kind of the same. But the Misfortune as well, just super aggressive on Zeri. And, Team Ambition, completely different. Graves is going to be similar to Kindred, but has less early game priority. Doesn't have that mid Lulu buffing him up. Karthus, a completely new look for PvS. And the Nasus, again, Reform Top is consistently the X factor for this team with these crazy picks.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the Nasus is going to work here in the top lane. Honestly, it's probably going to be a snooze fest. But if VG Unity can get things going here, could be really good for them. That's something that they're going to have to take initiative on. And they do have the tools to do so with the Viego and Veigar ganks, as well as the bot lane, Nautilus MF. Tons of engage there, tons of damage for the Viego to come in. So we'll see what their strategy is going to be going into the game.
Well, I'm hoping VGU makes it a bit more than a snooze fest for us, at least with Zohair on the Viego, looking for some exciting ganks, hopefully looking for some plays, get his team ahead instead of falling behind like last game. But we are going to take a quick break while we wait for the game to load up. Game 2 of the night looking to be just as exciting as game 1. Hoping to see a long series tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone, into game 2 of the night. Thank you all for joining us. We have so many lovely viewers with us, 30 in the chat right now. Thank you all for being with us as we watch Virtue Gaming Unity versus Team Ambition Prime. I am number 2, Ginger, joined by Izzo, once again on the cast as we watch Virtue Gaming Unity run it down mid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You love to see this from Nautilus. As no flash coming out from Ichiret, so nothing really going to happen there. But
you can see Virtue Gaming Unity with the classic strategy of saying good luck, have fun while running it down mid, hoping they're typing it back. I've heard this strategy happen many times, and it is actually worked for them before. So I don't think they're going to get away with that one again, but a good attempt.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Honestly, I would have liked to see Ichirat coming out with the flash, burning PVS flash. Like we mentioned earlier in Champ Select, the Veigar ganks early on, really, really potent, especially if Karthus doesn't have flash, he can't get out of the baby cage. So, yeah, would have been really nice to get PVS flash here. But in the end, I guess Zohair's just going to have to do that himself.
Yeah, as a mid laner myself, what quality player should be doing right now is he should be looking to get 700 gold. On 700 gold, he bases and TPs back. He has Tier and he has Boots. He can stay in lane forever with Tier, and Boots enables the Predator. Once he has the Predator, Zohair is able to line up pretty much any gank he wants. PVS cannot get out of it. He has to flash the first one. The second one, he should just be instantly dead to. It's a very cookie-cutter plan, very easy to pull off, and nothing complex really. The only hard thing you have to do is track where Bad is and make sure he's not in a great position to counter gank.
Yeah, and with the Predator, even if it's not for lane, getting that priority on the Karthus, being able to roam out of lane, try to maybe impact the bot lane with the Veigar, could be another valuable piece of tech for VG Unity. So looking to see how they're going to use this Veigar in the early game, as Zohair looks to be skipping Krugs, so he could potentially be going for a 3-camp into mid here, going to Gromp. Yeah, we'll see what he does here in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, curious what Zohair does. With the Viego, you do have some liberty with your pathing. We are seeing some early bullying from Shaminian Inner Spirit in the bot lane as expected. From the Ashe Karma lane, Ichirat is a Nautilus. He's not too strong level 1 unless he gets a really nice cheese hook. But Spirit with that exhaust kind of negates a lot of damage, and Arch with that heal versus Shaminian's cleanse also means that they're just kind of down advantageous summoner spells. So Virtue Gaming Unity gonna be pushed in early in the bot lane. Bad also pathing down, so it feels kind of bad for Zohair. He's probably not going to have priority for that Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, and we can see both the Graves and the Viego pathing to bot side, so probably not going to be favoring VG Unity here, although we'll have to see. I think 3v3 is pretty even. Either way, Ashe Karma going to have the push, so Graves probably going to secure that first Scuttle Crab, although Zohair did skip his Krugs, so he'll probably be on that first. Looks like he's going to grab that straight up, and maybe try to get a gank off before Graves can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, nice by Zohair actually to pick up that Scuttle Crab. Might go for a double Scuttle. Bad just going for the full clear, maybe thinking that Zohair will be in the top side or just conceding the Scuttle Crabs. So very nice to see. Getting a nice early start here for Zohair is definitely what he needs. He's been so pivotal to Virtue Gaming Unity this season. They ride off a lot of his success. But in the meantime, in the mid lane, here comes PBS stepping forward past the cage, but putting himself in a really awkward position now, playing through the mains. Exhaust comes out on Quality Player. The damage coming through on PBS is not going to flash away. Going to try to take down the kill on Quality Player. Is not going to find it. In the meantime, a bot lane kill comes out for TA Prime, trading over the plays. Ichirat went down, had to burn his flash.
Jeez, a lot of action here in this early game. Quality almost getting taken down by the Karthus passive. He was duking and dodging those Karthus Skittles, but the minions actually almost took him down, even though he was able to dodge out on the Karthus Qs. Luckily, it doesn't go down there for VGU. So nice, successful gank there from Zohair in the mid lane, while Bad able to pull off a gank in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, you look at sums for TA Prime, they had to burn all 3 flashes on Bad, Shaminian, and Respirit for that play. So even though Ichirat went down, it's not First Blood, and you get a lot of important summoner spells down. Now, in the top lane, Wild Terry taking a very aggressive trade, kind of spelling out that Zohair is here. Reform Top going to step forward, does get stunned, has to burn the Ghost, and Wild Terry made that a little bit too obvious.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, they do get the Ghost, so, that's okay. Maybe could have been a kill if executed a bit better, but either way, Ghost comes out, and Reform Top's wave now in a pretty bad spot, as the Nasus you do not want to get freezed on, especially with Zohair in the area, so he's going to be kicking himself here for this. Got to get this in, but Zohair on the Krugs could just step up into the top lane and get a free kill, flashless Nasus here. So looks like that's what he's going to do, moving up here after Scrubs.
The Respirit is in the top side, though. He's at the Wolves of Virtue Gaming Unity. So Respirit can move up if he wants to. Wild Terry going down really low, just going to get solo killed by Reform Top, but that makes him pop 6. A fantastic play by Reform Top to find the right priority there and get the kill. Wild Terry, in the meantime, overestimated how much he could tank. Still has the flash up, and a tragedy strikes for Virtue Gaming Unity.
Yeah, I mean, Wild Terry just getting a little bit too cocky there, I guess. Did not, calculate the Nasus damage enough. You really can't be dying there in that situation. I mean, you just chill for a few seconds and Viego comes in. So, a little unlucky for VG Unity. Pretty bad for that Nasus to get a kill here, but we'll see if they're able to strike back. Is now Quality Player, as you said, with the Predator, going to be able to get that Baby Cage onto the Karthus here.
Yeah, it didn't work out as planned because the Predator takes a few seconds to ramp up, and he just popped it instantly and started running at him, so PBS just kind of walked away. It looks like PBS did burn the Flash, though, actually. So, not too bad, then. Flash burned. PBS now hitting 6, so he will be starting to pop the ultimate. He has the first strike, so I'm curious if he just pops the ulti on cooldown, or he saves it for a pivotal fight.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see here. Karthus Flash going down. Pretty big for VG Unity. Zohair should be returning there very soon. Free ganks, as we've been saying, the entire game. Now, Zohair did a second full clear here before his first back. Gonna be really rich coming out after this base. Maybe he can try to make something happen in the mid lane or in the top lane. But now, Bad, kind of hovering the bot lane as they push out. Looks like he's also gonna try to take it back. And yeah, both junglers going to be looking to make their next play in a few minutes.
Yeah, Ichiro has to be careful here and make sure he doesn't fish for a hook. He doesn't have flash, so if he goes in and gets rooted up, he's not going to be in a good spot. However, the wave did seem to be crashing, so should be up here. Camera really likes going up into the top lane, watching the Noodle Fest come out. Wild Terry is able to poke down Reform Top decently, but Reform's Top passive just gives him so much inherent sustain that Wild Terry really can't do much but just farm the grass stacks until eventually he's going to start getting out damage right Reform Top. He's going to be at risk of dying, and then it's going to be an issue for Virtua Game Unity once that time happens. So a bit of a timeline here, a bit of a time crunch, if you will, for Virtua Game Unity to get something done.
Yeah, and Zohair is trying his damnedest, but TA Prime's vision is a little bit too much right now. He's been spotted out a couple times here in the top side, so Karthus staying safe without his flash, and now looking to make a play here in the top side.
Yeah, Wild Terry going to ult over the bush, over right to PBS, but has the blast cone, is able to walk that one away. Bad is trying to collapse. Quality Player gonna get the cage on to Bad. Bad going down to half health, so much damage coming out from the Quality Player with those Sork Shoes already completed. So Wild Terry able to get out of that play by the skin of his teeth on great pathing and a nice collapse from Quality Player.
Yeah, it was looking pretty dicey for Unity there for a minute. But yeah, nice little ult there from Wild Terry over the wall, dodging out on the Graves ult. And yeah, VG Unity moving up to help him out, get him out of there safely. So nicely done. And now Quality Player has PBS in the baby cage again.
Oh, Flash going forward. PBS looked like he ran into the sun. The exhaust comes out. I don't know if Quality has enough damage. Doesn't pop the ulti, has to flash forward for it. Now Respirit is here, but he is all alone. Doesn't have any damage in his own. It looks like Bad is going to come forward, but it doesn't matter. Ichirat hooks away. And a nice kill in the mid lane, punishing what we've been talking about. 2-0 now on Quality Player.
Yeah, and Veigar getting ahead early is not what you want to see as TA Prime. Veigar, an incredibly hard scaling champion, getting ahead early, just going to accelerate that further. And yeah, he's going to look to take his back, get even more AP to try to
coming through. That's not good. Here comes the altar from PBS. That's going to get the kill on to Zohair. A great follow-up play from TA Prime, punishing Ichirat for getting some greedy vision. The CC coming out from Respirit into the Ash Arrow. Such nice layering into getting a kill for your Karthus.
Yeah, notably Bad did not auto down the Nautilus there in the end. He let the PVS get the kill on Karthus. So trying to match that Veigar skilling with the Karthus skilling of their own, as now Bad getting away from the baby cage as Quality keeps going forward.
Arch was able to get that Gromp there, but Quality stepping a little bit too forward. Now the bullet time's coming out from Arch. Can he win the 1v1 versus Bad? Flashes into literally nothing. Zohair now here, gonna get the reset. Bad trying to get over the wall, fails the ultimate. Zohair gonna flash roll, gets the Heartbreaker, gets 2, but doesn't get the reset at 1 HP. Kills getting traded across the board. Now Wild Terry fighting in the top side, ults right on to Reform top, but he doesn't have the damage to finish him off, and he's gonna have to flash away. Itchrat managed to get away from Shaminian this whole time. PVS is just pushing mid lane, has almost 3 plates now to himself. So much gold going onto this Karthus in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, even more gold there as Vigor TP's in. He gets 2 solo Qs with the first strike active, so tons of gold for PVS here. And, you know, that fight in the bottom river, so close for Zohair. He got the Q down, so he had the auto attack to be able to get into the body, but just slightly out of range. If he was able to get in there, it would have been really nice for VG Unity, but unfortunately, that is not the case. And now, TA Prime solo lanes, getting tons of turret plates and tons of gold.
Yeah, and it feels like we're watching a repeat of Game 1. Virtua Game Unity is just slowly falling apart in these slight macro plays. 3K up for TA Prime, and TA Prime just seems like they're one step ahead of Virtua Game Unity with where they need to be. Getting a lead in this bot lane, 3-0 Ash. PVS, even though he was down 0-2, he's getting so much gold from his team, picking the right plays or Spirit, moving around the map so well. Now, bot lane play coming out. Arrow comes out on Arch with the Captain Jack cleanse, not going to be able to take him down, but that is cleansed out on an important cooldown. Arrow will be up first. Dragon is up, so TA Prime has the map to play with.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen here around this bot side. Looks like not too much as Graves back off.
Reform top going for it all in. Terry has no flash, has no ultimate. Terry, you're stepping away too far, my man. Reform top has outscaled you, and Reform top is going to get the plus 12 to the bank.
Yeah. Just a nice solo kill there from Reform top. More fighting.
Dive coming out bot. The bullet time's going to come down. Ichirat is going to trade out, but a big shutdown going over to Arch. Now looking for the play for Spirit. Zohair is not going to hit the Heartbreaker. A nice flash coming out to survive. Now Arch has to try to run away. I don't think he's going to be able to. Get a huge slow from the Make It Rain. It is going to be able to walk that one out. That is misfortune for you. So in the end, Arch does get a shutdown, but Ichirat going down along with Zohair.
Yeah, I mean, just tons of fighting here coming out. Reform top, just being able to run down the Mudflight, has that full Divine Sunderer 2-0. So he's pretty big. Wild Terry not going to be having a good time here going forward in this game. And then more fighting in the bot lane. Arch and Ichirat looking to try to dive onto the Ashe. Ashe able to get the return kill, but a shutdown over to VGU. So yeah, pretty nice there. But afterwards, now Zohair going down, and you know, Arch able to get away, but overall, TA Prime looking to take advantage of that. Play in the bottom lane, take the dragon, and now they have 2 dragons in the early game with their scaling comp.
Yeah, this game really just has me wondering, you know, how different is it if Virtua Game Unity took Misfortune on R4 instead of Malphite and was able to R5 a better pick here? Because look at Wild Terry, man. He's just getting bullied. He has the unstoppable force, but it doesn't matter. Just Reform top getting more and more stacks, going to continue to pressure, get that tower soon. And this Malphite pick, you know, it looked good into the Ashe, into the Graves, but when you're getting counterpicked, it just feels so bad if your team isn't able to follow, if you're not able to group early. And I think it's going to be, you know, a big regret from Virtua Game Unity going out the rest of this game.
Yeah, I really like the Misfortune point. You know, blind picking the Malphite, a bit sus. He does have a few different counters that you could pick into it.
Oh,
so
a nice
there,
flash forward from Ichirat's going to get the root onto Shaminian. Shaminian going down to 1 HP, gets the heal out, is going to go down to Arch, but he gets the 2v1 outplay. He gets both kills. Fantastically played by Shaminian with the heal, just enough to have him survive, and he is going to be happy at 6-2 now. Quality player going down low in the mid lane, trying to make a play on PVS. He came straight from base, and he's running right back to base as Team Ambition Prime cracks the mid lane tower. Their gold lead now ballooned up to 5,000 gold at 14 minutes.
Yeah, Arch and Ichirat just keep going for these dives. I could defend it the first time when Shaminian had a big shutdown being 6-0, but this time I just can't see it. They do not have the burst damage. Just go in for a clean dive. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just not great play there coming out from Arch and Ichirat.
Yeah, you know, they were definitely hoping that with Ichiratsu's lockdown, the bullet time would have been able to get him, but he just missed a small section in the wall that Shaminian was able to pass to and survive some of the damage. And even if they killed Shaminian, Ichirat's still gonna die with that. So 1-for-1 at that point, is it even really worth it trading even gold across when bad is bot side, when PVS has the Requiem available just to get some more gold on himself with that first strike? And here it comes, man. I mean, this is just gonna be at least 100 to 200 gold, 113. There it is in PVS's inventory, and that's only going to get bigger and bigger as the game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to keep farming the gold here, as not really much going to be happening across the map probably for the next couple minutes. Dragging up in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So TA Prime probably going to be
here's a play
there,
on the mid lane. Shaminian has a flash. He's going to flash over the wall. I don't know if that's where you want to be, but here comes the TP. Arch cleanses nothing as the arrow missed. And now Ichirat's in the middle of Reform top. That is a lot of damage from the Cane. Plus 12 once again. 3-0-0, doing a quick stack check at 357 stacks at 16 minutes. That is a lot of stacks for this point in the game. Reform top has completely stopped caring about literally everything. He's full diving 2 towers, gets one, looking for the second onto Arch, flashes away, but it does not matter. Decade is here and gets 2 under tower and lives with a thumbs up emoji. That is Reformed atop on the skinless Nasus.
This man does not give a single F. He is out here coming in at like less than a quarter HP. He goes right back under the tower for Arch, dropping 3 canes, and Arch is dead. Walks away by the skin of his teeth. And great play from Reform top here, knowing exactly what his champion can do, being 3-0 at the time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I was Virtue Gaming right now, I'm tilted out of my mind. Ichirat getting a bit caught out here. Going to go pretty low. Is not going to be able to get taken out as bad. Missed the damage. Zoe here maybe looking for the turn. Is he able to get damage on her Spirit? That is going to be a reset. He has the shield forward to Wild Terry. They could look forward for this. This might be some play potential. PVS is going to get rooted up. Drops to Sanya's Heartbreaker is going to miss. Ichirat gets the root. There's another reset coming through. Cage does miss. Zoe here now going low. Is going to fall down. Taking that Karthus means he was very squishy. Shaminian getting a double kill. And in the end, it's not that great for Virtue Gaming Unity. It's still a 2-for-2. Team Ambition Prime coming out nicely in this fight. They're just so far ahead. And remember, this whole time, Reform top still pushing in that bot lane, getting more stacks, gonna get that bot tower. And we discussed the Viger versus Nasus scaling, who scales better. And a 5-0 Nasus is going to scale better than the 2-2 Vigar.
Oh, absolutely. And we saw that in the previous play. He's just going to keep getting stronger, going to be getting that frozen heart, not going to be taking any damage this game, really. I'd be surprised if he dies going forward. But more fighting here in the bot lane.
I mean, just left and right fighting. Team Ambition owns Virtue Gaming jungle. And bad, okay, dashing in forward there might be a little bit aggressive. Looking for the play. The Requiem comes out, but not able to finish anyone. TP now coming out in the backline. Zoe here gets the reset onto Graves. Respirit going to dash away. Quality player is able to finish that one off. Now caught with Shaminian. Is going to get the Evershar's root, but it's not enough. Shaminian has too many slows. Takes down Vigar. Now Asher going to be looking forward. Is going to land the stun onto Zohair, but Zohair has the Merc Tread, so he's able to walk that one out. Reform top gets the slow, gets the weather. Looking for the play on Zohair. Zohair's going to flash away. Very scared of the DOG, and that is Dragon going over to Team Ambition Prime as a reward.
Yeah, I mean, slight overstep there from that and Respirit, but, they take one more kill in the fight, but in the end, TA Prime able to push out VG Unity and able to get that 3rd Dragon for TA Prime, so now they are, I believe, on Soul Point. I thought they had 2 Dragons before, but maybe not. But either way, stacking up the Dragons with this hard scaling comp, I mean, if you're VG Unity, there's not a lot of hope.
Yeah, VG Unity, at this point, you're down 7k at 19 minutes. It feels really unplayable into this Nasus. We've seen bigger comebacks before, but the big thing right now is to just make sure you don't get tilted. Think about game 3. Think about how you want to fix the draft. The big blunder here is taking that Malphite blind, right? And taking that Misfortune as the last pick when you already knew what their bot lane was. Ichirat, again, 0-6. He is the warder. He is the front line. He's doing his best to get vision, but he just can't. He keeps getting punished for it. What can you do at this point? It's hard to say what Ichirat really can do and what VGU can do. They get a stun onto PVS, but Quality Player isn't able to get any damage off, and it just feels like a matter of time until TAP takes the base.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're making quick work of it here. Already have that tier 2 top with the Rift Herald coming in, likely going to be getting the top inhib very soon, and now pushing down mid as well. Probably going to be getting that too, but now Wild Terry looking for a TP flank here with the Malphite.
He didn't even TP. He just walked down from bot lane. He's going to get a double knockup on the back line. No flashes. That's a huge bullet time. Coming up from Arch, getting a double kill. Big shutdown. In the meantime, top lane is being pushed out by the side of TA Prime. They are able to get the inhibitor, but Bad is being chased down. He does not have a shutdown on himself. They're trying to get him. They get the soul out from Wild Terry. Bad does not have flash. There's a Heartbreaker, and there is the kill going over to Zohair. So a nice influx of gold on to Arch, on to Zohair, getting a little bit back. They're still down 7,000 gold, but they're going for this Baron. Maybe they're looking towards it. There is 2 dead on the side of TA Prime. Ashes up in 10 seconds. Does have the arrow, but Bad, the jungler, is gone. However, Reform Top is alive. Level 14 has the ghost, and I feel like he just wants to go for the 1v5 at this point. His team is not here yet, but he is hungry to go. Here comes the Requiem, going to do so much damage. Nearly one-shot to Arch. Quality player is going to get the root, but the arrow comes out. Baron's doing so much damage. Wild Terry's already down to 1. Quality player's in pit. Ichirat is going to be the first to go. No, it's going to be Quality player, then Ichirat is next. Reform Top is unleashed. He just sat there and watched as the Requiem and Baron destroyed all of Virtue Gaming Unity in their last second desperate attempt to bring the game back, and that is going to be the big purple worm going over to TA Prime.
Yeah, I mean, VG Unity finding one of the few plays that they could, able to get a couple kills. They try to go for the Desperation Baron, but Reform Top is just way too strong, as well as PVS on the Karthus Requiem, destroying the side of VG Unity as they tank the Baron. Arch, Zohair, and Wild Terry all 2 HP after that play. It could have gone a lot worse, even though TA Prime comes out with the victory.
Yeah, we're ballooned up to 10k gold now at 22 minutes. TA Prime has the Baron. Hopefully they can play it a bit better than in game 1. They didn't have a great play with their Baron, didn't sync up the waves very well. We are seeing, you know, a bit of the weaknesses from TA Prime. This is still a D1 Masters Cup league. Every team does have their weakness. And that's, you know, the beauty of this league is that it's a high-level league, but not without, you know, flaws in every team. It's not like UPL. It's not these high-level challenger leagues where if you have a league, it's uncomebackable. But you do have to be a very, very vigilant team to be make up for these leads that TAP is getting. And Unity has glimpses of hope, has glimpses of great play, but it's not consistent with all 5 players. It's not consistent with the comms. Plays like this where TAP is just able to walk into the jungle. So much damage. Flash coming out from Bad is not able to finish off Zohair. So not bad for VGU getting the flash. But if TAP is running away with this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much Unity can do. They tried their best there with the Malphite play. I respect it. They found one of the few things that they possibly could have done, but it's just not enough given the lead that TAP has and their champions. I mean, it's got to be almost impossible for Unity to win at this point.
Ichirat flashing over hooks, quite literally nothing. Shaminian is gonna get knocked out, but he is all alone as the entire team is trying to deal with Reform Top, but he is only half HP. Requiem coming out now is not able to pop Wild Terry. Might go down to Leandre's, he does. And he has the demonic embrace as well, actually, so that's the double burn coming out. So much damage from that Requiem. This Karthus is absolutely unleashed. Over 11,000 gold at this point in the game as TA Prime, with no contest whatsoever, is just going to obliterate Virtue Gaming Unity's base and take down game 2.
Yeah, I mean, you could really see the strength of the Karthus there in the end. Just popping the Requiem when carries were at full HP, taking them all the way down to half. I mean... You definitely do not want to be seeing that Karthus again. I feel like this pick just had a huge impact on the game for TA Prime.
Yeah, I mean, it's that Karthus was able to scale for free. You feel like VGU fell behind in the early game. The Ashe was 3-0. The Nasus was unleashed. You know, the winning point of Virtue Gaming Unity wasn't able to win hard enough. You know, this Nasus pick, again, Reform Top, consistently being this X factor in the game is pretty crazy, actually. And I really, really like how TAP is pulling off these wild picks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, VGU had their opportunity in the early game, trying to go for those mid ganks, couldn't quite pull them off each time. Something went wrong. You know, Zohair was on vision. You know, they didn't go for a flash onto the Karthus, this and that. So, you know, these slight blunders just added up for VGU not being able to punish the Karthus, and he really just ran away with the game.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game by Team Ambition Prime, much more dominant than Game 1. We are going to be going to a Game 3 as it is a best of 5. Game point on the line for Virtue Gaming Unity. They're going to look to change it up. Team Ambition Prime going to be looking to ride the momentum to a clean 3-0 ideally for them. We're going to take a quick break while we wait for Game 3 to get set up. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And welcome back, everyone, to the third game of the night, 3 out of potentially 5. I am number 2 Ginger, once again joined by Izzo. Beautiful Tuesday night, closing in on 9 p.m. EST over here on the East Coast for all my East Coast fans or all my West Coast fans. Closing in on 6 for you guys, just starting the evening. Izzo, we've seen some exciting games so far. Second game, it was a bit of a stomp. Let's be real here. So VGU. They clearly have some things they need to fix. They clearly need to find an answer for reform top. What do you think that answer is?
Oh man, I don't even know. Honestly, if I was them, I would probably just try to play away from it. Maybe grab the Ornn again. It didn't really work super great the first time, but maybe they learned from game one and try to pick more of a stronger mid or stronger bot. Try to have more agency in one of those lanes instead, because TAP does seem to have a whole lot of picks here in the top lane to counter whatever VGU throws at them. So maybe try to draft something like a Karma Ash, maybe like Nautilus MF again, and try to play through those lanes and try to get an advantage elsewhere.
Yeah, TAP taking the Nautilus as VGU banned the Karma. I'm surprised the Karma ban came out from VGU. I felt like that wasn't really the problem last game. I would like a lot more attention in the bans towards Reform Top, similar to how you just ban out Summit. It seems like he is consistently the problem in both games. Game 1, his Darius 7-1. Game 2 is Nasus. I mean, forget about it. He was plus 12ing everywhere. And you're putting Terry on these weak side tanks. Give him some breathing room in a matchup that he could survive in. VGU gonna go full comfort this game. You have to. Game 3 elimination match. Looking for the Xayah and the Leona as a blind pick bot lane.
Yeah, kind of an interesting pairing there, Xayah Leona. Xayah traditionally kind of a going backwards type champion. You want to be kiting, have people coming into you. Leona going forward most of the time. So for me, this kind of spells out the fact that VGU is going to play using their R5 to try to pick top lane and try to play towards top lane, as Xayah is fairly safe in the bot lane. That pairing by itself, not fantastic. We'll see what they decide to do for the rest of their picks, though, as Zeri now coming in for TAP. Solid scaling there, and no lockdown, really, like the Nautilus. Leona able to maybe land some stuns, but Zeri pretty mobile, so yeah.
Yeah, Zeri's probably going to take the cleanse tax as well for Leona. So Leona's not going to have a good time stunning down Zeri. However, Xayah does have good potential in the 1v1 with Zeri if Zeri gets a little too aggressive. I do like the idea of playing topside. Give Terry a game to shine. You have the R5 counter pick. Make use of it instead of last game where it was blundered towards just a misfortune aggressive pick that could have been picked much earlier in the draft. TAP going with a much more standard composition here in Game 3, though. Xin Zhao is the lock-in, just a very safe, standard, strong jungler bruiser. Gets through the early and mid-game. Nothing too exciting. A bit disappointed, honestly. I've been enjoying these drafts. But, I can't blame him just wanting to close out the series and move on.
Yeah, and, VGU looking to grab the early game juggler in Volley. So, I think Volley has pretty good matchup into Xin Zhao. I think Volley has the 1v1 priority in that matchup. So maybe Volibear can try to make something happen here in the early game with the Leona, potentially looking towards bot. Zeri, fairly immobile in the early game if you can get those stuns down. Given we did say that Zeri probably is going to have the cleanse. So, we'll see what VG decides to pick next because, like we said before, topside is probably going to be the focus for them here.
Yeah, pretty standard answer from VGU. They have a great support jungle matchup. Leona beats Nautilus, Volibear beats Xin Zhao in a vacuum. So put those two together, and you have a winning 2v2. Congratulations. So VGU definitely looking pretty strong. TAP has that scaling, though, in that Zeri. Ideally here for VGU, you want an R4, maybe a Victor, a Vigar, something just scaling in the mid lane, and you give your top lane counter pick. Karthus is going to be taking out, so no more Karthus for PVS, and Victor is maybe the ban for TAP would be another. I'm a big fan of just picking Vigar every game. I love Vigar. I'm one-tricking him in solo queue. The champion's not okay. So if VG just wants to pick Vigar here, then give the top lane counter to Terry. I think that would be, the safest way in draft, and it is locked in.
Yep, really like the Vigar pick. Like we were talking about last draft, really safe scaling pick, very underrated. Not a lot of counter matchups. They even banned the Karthus, which was TAP's response last game. So we'll see if they can come out with any more fancy picks into the Veigar. Either way, though, they do have the safe scaling mid, and hopefully they can get a nice counter matchup in the top lane, and they are able to play through that.
Yeah, so this is the first game that Reform Top has to actually blind top laner. So I'm curious what his go-to blind is. Vel'Koz is going to be the answer into Veigar for TAP, which is a good pick. Vel'Koz plays at a very long range compared to Veigar, so Veigar has to take that Predator and try to get close. However, if Veigar ever does get close to Vel'Koz, that Vel'Koz can just get popped instantly.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
going to be a super skill matchup for PBS. Vel'Koz is picked more commonly at support just because his scaling, his damage isn't that great. He's not that safe in lane, but he is one of those, niche champions. TAP, 2 seconds left. Going to be the Gwen blind in the top lane. We haven't seen that champion in a while.
Yeah, I like the Gwen. Did get nerfed previously in the year, but still a solid pick, especially into champions like Xayah and Veigar, given that she has that range immunity. So, solid, safe, weak side top there. And we'll see what VGU has in store as the counter pick, hovering Jax right now.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. This is it. This is like Family Feud. This is a good answer. This is what you want to see. I was thinking. So you have, in my opinion, you have 2, maybe 3 main picks here. You have Jax, you have Yone, and if you're a good Graves player, you can pull off Graves. Okay, maybe Fiora. But besides that, those are like the main picks you could take that really just destroy Gwen. Me, I'm a Yone player. Every time someone blinds Gwen, I pick Yone. I go 20-0. It doesn't matter. The matchup is like you could fall asleep easy. Jax is the same thing. You just the champion just cannot lose to Gwen. And with those Gwen nerfs, they were so significant a few patches ago. She lost 50 range on her E dash. Attack range that is just absolutely massive. She's fallen off the earth. You have not seen her in competitive. You have not seen her in amateur. She's getting some buffs next patch, but the champion is just really weak. This is a hard winning VGU draft for me. This is VGU's best draft. If they can't win this game, they can't win the series. Obviously, but
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you here, VGU. Coming in with a really solid draft plan. It's extremely clear what their game plan is going to be, and it has a high chance of success here with the insane Jackson to Gwen matchup, along with the winning 1v1 jungle matchup, and Leona Roams potentially coming out. Xayah probably not going to get punished super hard, although there is potential there with the Nautilus. So, VGU definitely looking really good here in Champ Select. We'll see if they're able to convert it here in game.
yeah, I mean, both teams are basically play the exact same way. Both ADCs are going to be weak side alone. Both supports roaming around with the junglers, early game fighters. Both mids scaling control mages, and the only real difference maker here is the top laners. Jax and Gwen are both a little scaly and want to split push. Jax obviously AD heavy, Gwen very AP heavy. Speaking of AP, TAP is an extremely AP heavy team, so it's going to look good for VGU to build some MR, but this Jax just has such a clear winning matchup up here. This has to be the focal point for VGU, and I'm curious how TAP actually wants to play their team comp and what they want to focus their priorities around.
Yeah, I mean, as we were saying, VGU just hard wins in the top side of the map. There's really not much that TAP can do. So maybe they try to pivot and maybe try to punish the Xayah, Leona in the bot lane. Xin Zhao, a very potent early ganker. Especially if Volley is going to be hanging around topside. Maybe you're able to get some ganks off in the bot lane, get that Zarya ahead. Outrange the Veigar. Jax might be a problem for her, but Zeri could definitely take over a game here if she does get fed. So we'll have to see what TAP decides to do for themselves in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked through true champion selects. We're at the third one. We've seen what both teams can bring to the table. We've seen the TAP. VGU can slug for about 10 minutes, and at that 10-minute mark, we've been noticing TAP picks up a few picks, picks up a few good fights. So that's what I'm going to be looking for this first 10 to 15 minutes. Can VGU keep in it? Can they get a gold lead, or will they fall apart like they have the last 2 games? That's really going to be the pivotal moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if they are able to shore up that weakness there, they will have a really good time in this game. Honestly, I feel like with the Volley and the Leona, they shouldn't really be losing those fights at that time. So, they had a good draft here to try to fix that and see if they can take out the dub here in Game 3.
All right, well, we can only do so much talking, but it's up to Virtua Gaming Unity to pull off the action and prove that they can take a game off the series, or Team Ambition Prime taking the clean sweep on the night, getting to go home a little bit early and moving on to the semifinals. Remember, this is quarterfinals. This is top 8. Top 3 teams do get paid out, so there will be a third place match in ADL this year. Don't go anywhere, guys. We are going to be right back with a game 3 of the night for Virtua Gaming Unity versus Team Ambition Prime.
Yeah, you know what it is. Just cracked open a fresh AM grind coffee, man. CB Clockwork versus Lotus White tonight. We gotta get ahead, cause if we neck and neck, the Necrox wins. You dig? Look, I love Tuesday night cause I get to watch Necrox get carried in multiple ways. Will it be 5 streaks babysitting them? Maybe it's Alucard making some plays. Or will it be Taco and Pants? I know that they suck, but it could be a phase. But what if it's none of the above and he gotta step up with no time to learn the game? What a shame. But it all comes around like clockwork. Billy bout the booty bang your whole roster. Big Coops might got big monsters. Big Dubs got subs, roll swappers. Dory K hit a flay, no flash, screen gray. That's another smart pants misplay. Make them think we got shotguns and smokes. How we about to put Lotus in their graves? Clockwork finna win 3-0. AM grind got us playing like a cheat code. All on speakers, big facts, no memes, bro. Lotus White can't see us like a Timo. Clockwork finna win 3-0. AM grind got us playing like a cheat code. All on speakers, big facts, no memes, bro. Lotus White can't see us like a Timo. We banning out Zion and Silver. Watch that bot lane and fail to deliver. Composition is full of some sinners. Treat them flowers like bots for beginners. Come and taco off shit, it's just pitiful. He keep his deaths under 10, it's a miracle. We brought a goat off the bench with a question. Why are you running your fears and still? You see what we did to redacted? Make a proof disappear like it's magic. This series should guard on the classic. Triple swapping the bot, this the gas. Coop show, take flashes. Pathin, fantastic. Alucard don't honor our deal. We sue son like NASA's backwards. Clockwork finna win 3-0. AM grind got us playing like a cheat code. All on speakers, big facts, no memes, bro. Lotus White can't see us like a Timo. Clockwork finna win 3-0. AM grind got us playing like a cheat code. All on speakers, big facts, no memes, bro. Lotus White can't see us like a Timo.
And welcome back, everyone, into game 3 of the night. We are here ready for some action hoping for a 5-game series so VG Unity could take the dub. But of course, Team Ambition Prime looking very, very great this series, looking very strong. So Gwen did not buy items.
Oh no, man. Is this a bug? Oh no.
Yeah, that way it actually is a bug.
Wait, really? Oh,
I pressed
okay.
I pressed no twice and she had items. Okay. The last game, the CS wasn't updating until I refreshed the scoreboard again like that. So I don't know if Riot did something to break spectate again. They seem to do it every patch, but regardless,
Honestly.
she has items. She went D-Blade. Interesting choice. You know, a lot of Gwens go between D-Ring or D-Blade in the top lane or D-Shield, but D-Blade gives her some more auto attack trade.
Yeah, I mean, based on what you said, it seems kind of weird into Jax, given that he's kind of an anti-AA champion. So, you know, we'll see what she's able to do with that Dorn's Blade. She also took the Flash instead of Ghost here in top. So, you know, maybe she's looking to flash out of some counter strikes or something like that. We'll see if she can put the Flash to good use in this game.
Yeah, it looks like both junglers are going to be starting bot side this game, both pathing towards the top side. Bit weird. I think that Bad is going to be pathing towards that Gwen. I feel like you just lose the 2v2 up there if Zohair matches you. But, you know, we'll see what Bad decides to do with that. He is, you know, going to skip the Krugs, go straight into that top side, maybe a 5 or a 4 camp, and get that early Scuttle Crab. In the meantime, Quality Player will have a bit of a struggle with this lane, getting outranged a bit, and we should see a very slow early game.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything is going to hinge off these ganking junglers, although Raleigh looking like he's going to be going for a full clear. Zin skipping his Krugs, looking to go for the Gromp, so maybe he'll be going for a 3-camp into top gank here, which definitely could put VGU's game plan on the back foot if that Gwen gets a kill or two, but now fighting in the bot lane.
Early fight coming out, a lot of damage under Spirit. Ignite comes out, Exhaust came out on Arch. Flash card from Ichirat's gonna get the stun, and First Blood goes over to Ichirat instead of Arch. A bit unfortunate there. I believe the Ignite finished him off. Now looking for the play on Shamanian, is gonna get the group. Big pullback from Arch, doesn't get the last auto. I think he canceled one of his auto attacks. What a huge 2v2 win in the bot lane for Virtue Gaming Unity.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see here going into match point game 3, but another gank top.
Another getting top Underwild Terry, but he has the counter strike, blocks all the damage from Bad. Perfectly played for Wild Terry. Didn't have to burn anything there. Still has 2 corrupting potion pots. Bad 3 camps into the top lane there. Skipped his blue and his wolves. So a fantastic play from Wild Terry to be able to survive that early gank.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're the Xin
Oh,
Zhao-
and now our early fight coming back in the top side. No, Zohair thought better of that one. It was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, too big of a wave there. Usually they would probably win 2v2, but deciding against it, considering that a big wave, probably going to do a lot of damage. So, yeah. But, you know, back to what I was saying earlier, if you're the Xin Zhao, I mean, you have to think about how this game's going to go in the top lane. I feel like if you're playing Xin into Jax, you're never getting a knockup onto Jax. He's just going to use E. He's never going to get knocked up. And, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of useless for Xin to be ganking top lane into Jax. So, kind of odd there. It does work out for Wild Terry. Well done there from him. And now Bad, shamefully going to be going back into his jungle as Zohair's already done his full clear. So, you know, Bad a little behind now on tempo in the jungle. A camp down at this point, and Zohair now back on the map with boots and a Ruby Crystal.
Yeah, it looks like Bad actually was able to pick up that top scuttle. So Zohair is going to path probably instantly down for this bot scuttle. He knows it's still up. Going to try to get that before Bad can do anything about that. Some more aggressive trades in the top lane for Wild Terry. Reform top did get a recall out. He does have that amp to him, whereas Wild Terry is still staring on the corrupting pot. Hook comes out on it to Ichirat, but this Leona is so tanky. He's going to look for the re-engage on it to Respire here. Remember, no sums out. He's getting so low. The Glacial Augment does so much work. Respire going low. Zohair is here. Now turning on to Shaminian. Shaminian doesn't have flash either, but dashes over the entire wall. Quality Player also made his way down here. Zohair flashes for the chop, gets the kill, and now Respire looks for the play, is able to pull in, but dies himself. Bad was able to clean up Zohair with the flash auto. But it's such a good play for Virtue Gaming Unity, now up 3-1 in kills. Quality Player getting a bit aggroed on. Bad does do a lot of damage. He is in early games, then Zhao. Quality Player's going to walk that one out, not going to be able to pick up that pink ward like he wanted. And Virtue Gaming Unity with some more positive plays in the bot side.
Yeah, great stuff coming out from VGU, especially from Arch and Ichirat. Just having TAP's number here in the bot lane this game. Just getting some great 2v2 fights coming out, almost getting multiple solo kills down here. And going for the talking about this fight here, it looked like TAP was going to get out. It looked like there was no chance here for VGU to continue the fight. But Zohair able to flash in, get
super
that
active
chomp.
from Shaminian there over the wall. Rooted up from Arch. Ichirat, though, was afraid to go in. I think they might have had the kill angle there. Ichirat had Ignite. Shaminian was so exposed, but afraid to give over any gold. And my God, TAP, even though they're down 0-3 in the bot side, they're still not afraid to go.
Yeah, for real. They really just want a skill check here in the bot lane, but now Hextech
Shaminian
coming out with Volibear.
Oh.
But Zeri just wheeze away over the wall. And
Just Zeri, thanks.
yeah, you know. Yeah, but now, off of that play, bad. On the Raptors of Zohair in the top side. So nice little counter jungle there off of that play. And with Wild Terry pushing out now in the top lane, it could be a nice play for TAP in the top side.
The quality player misses the stun on PVS there. He was standing still and he just didn't place that well. So now quality player is going to be pushed out of his own lane. Wild Terry's going to run into Bad here. He's going to get the counter strike out, looking for damage on Bad, but he jumped forward. So Bad was able to get the knockup. Reform top had the flash, but didn't get over the wall. Didn't want to go after Wild Terry with his own ultimate. So Wild Terry, lane wave not in a great spot. Down a lot of HP here to Reform top. Trying to get the cookies out. It looks like Zohair is up here on the top side. We'll see if Reform top goes for the all-in. Is going to get the snip out. Zohair looking for the stun, but the flash forward from Reform top is going to do so much that it's coming out. And Zohair looking for the finish. One more auto is going to do it, but no, the chomp was not enough. Ichirat was not close enough. He might have been able to flash Ignite, but I don't think it's worth it for him to do that. Zohair is just going to get the tower wave pushed in. Reform top is going to back and TP in, and a nice 1v2 outplayed for the Gwen.
Yeah, well done there from Reform top, knowing exactly how much damage he can deal on the Gwen. Wild Terry stepping up maybe a little bit too far. He had Zohair in his back pocket, but you know, maybe that gave him a false sense of security as he tried to get the wave in. But Reform top, nice play to be able to get that kill, and now has an advantage over the Jax in what was supposed to be a counter matchup here.
Yeah, and a very interesting deviation from the normal Gwen build, going that Warden's Mail first on the Gwen to negate a lot of Jax's damage. You know, he limits his own damage, but it's very interesting. I've never really seen that happen on the Gwen, but it makes sense because now, you know, even though you can't kill him, it makes it much harder for Jax to kill you. And that's what's really important, I guess, because you don't want Wild Terry to snowball. You want to prevent him from being able to actually snowball off this lane. And the best way to do that a lot of time is this tank stats. You see Wild Terry going for an aggressive trade, but really just didn't pick up much damage.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart buy from Reform top. He is...
flash from Ichirat, immediately cleansed and flashed away from Shaminian, but Ichirat is gonna go down regardless, tanked way too much turret aggro, and again, another big mistake by Ichirat, just giving over needless gold, and now Arch stuck under tower, his minion wave is gone. A massive mistake by Virtua Gaming Unity. In the meantime, they are able to grab a kill on the top side onto Reform top. The one bright side is the shutdown for Arch did go on to Respirit of all things, but still, it's a very aggro play. They got Shaminian some, so they can redo that, but we need to see it to be a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, Arch and Ichirat running back these dives in the bot side onto the solo AD carry, able to pick up that kill there, trade away Ichirat's life, but solid as Zeri is going to miss minions there, but now, off of that, Ichirat and Arch off tempo are going to be losing this dragon here, so TAP gonna grab the Hextech Dragon here at 9 minutes.
Yeah, first dragons in this series have been picked up late pretty consistently. So a 9-minute, 30-second dragon means soul this game is going to be late. Spirit looking for the hook on Ichirat. It's going to land. Ichirat has no flash, but he is quite the tanky boy. Viger is coming around with quality player. Going to get the stun here. Comes Shaminian. Light years over the wall. Going to get a lot of damage over to Ichirat. Hook misses, but Shaminian comes over Ichirat. However, Ichirat has a lot of stuns. That is all the damage coming out. Quality player's out of mana. Ichirat barely dies from the wolf with the last bite. And it's going to be a 1-for-1 in the end. Now Zohair running in to all of TA Prime. He knew he was there. Flash forward from Bad isn't going to be enough. Quality player. Oh, Zohair. 1 HP from the wind becomes lightning. and he's able to walk that one out. Again, 10-minute mark was my key number, right? And now we see TAA Prime taking the initiative. Virtua Gaming on the defensive, even with the lead, with the better comp. It's so consistent, it's almost like clockwork.
Yeah, it's really interesting that TP just keeps finding these advantages. I mean, so they're getting caught, but now Bad's the one being caught.
And a bad spot. No ulti, no flash. Arch is here chasing him down. Ichirak gets the stun, and that is a shutdown over to that Xayah. Arch looking so good on the Xayah pick.
Yeah, Arch 3-1 now, dominating lane, and now picking up another kill.
All
More
in
fighting.
the top lane. Who's going to win? It's Reform top. He gets the solo kill in the straight 1v1. Now looking for the turn onto Zohair. Zohair's going to get the stun, but who actually has enough damage? Zohair gets the level up, gets the shield, but Reform top is able to kite this one out, is able to run away. Now looking for the turn onto Zohair. The snip misses a little bit, and Zohair is going to have to run this one out. So effectively a 2v1 in the top lane for Reform top. Again, showing up in the situation his team needs him most.
Yeah, I mean, we were harping on this top lane matchup for all the draft, but Reform top is getting the better of Wild Terry now in this matchup. The Warden's Mail, smart buy coming out, making sure that he can't die, and in the end, taking down Wild Terry in the solo kill, and then outplaying Zohair afterwards. It's just great play from Reform top here, showing why he's the carry of TAP.
Yeah, first items starting to come out. PVS already has that Ludens in the mid lane farming very nicely, whereas Quad player is down 20 CS in this matchup. Not what you want to see. CS leads across the board pretty much for TAP, except in the bot lane for Arch. Arch is going to be the strong point of Virtua Game Unity, and the primary reason they have a gold lead at all right now is it keeps whittling down that tower. Second dragon's going to be the Infernal Drag. Spirit maybe in a tough spot. Solar Flare comes out, stunned from Koala. The player did not land. That's the second or third time we're seeing these stuns just slightly misplaced, and Spirit's able to flash away.
Yeah, I mean, you really would have liked to see that kill coming out. Slight misplay there from Quality player, but you know, they do burn Respirit's flash, so that is a dub in itself. And with that, they are going to have a lot of pressure here on the bot side as Arch is chipping away on the bot tower.
Respirit running into all of VGU, not what you want to see, but Shaminion's getting a lot of damage off, so Spirit's able to tank so much. Arch is here, and now Respirit should go down here. He does. Shaminion just doesn't have enough damage yet to take down Zohair or Ichirat. Nice root coming out from Arch to prevent the chase. Shaminion dashing forward. Has to be careful here. Arch has a lot of turn damage. Wind Become Lightning misses. Arch looking for the Feather Storm is going to land. Big ultimate from Bad is able to tank so much. Double kill with the Wind Becomes Lightning. A huge play from Bad, and the Xin Zhao is unleashed, doing so much work. All three members of VGU die in the bot side, getting greedy off of Arch's aggression. Now Koala, the player, also stuck here, gonna be going down eventually to Bad, and there it is. So much play from the Xin Zhao, now 5-1.
Wow, it was looking so good for VGU there. I mean, Respirit looking like he was buying so much time. Zeri not doing any damage during that stopwatch. So it looked like VGU had the opportunity there to keep going. But in the end, TAP able to just turn it around. Xin Zhao getting a nice Wind Becomes Lightning on to two people, getting a double kill instantly. So great play there from Bad. And, you know, overall, great play from TAP to, again, take another nice little skirmish here in this mid game and get an advantage.
Yeah, and you know, off that play too, Arch wasn't able to get first tower even though he was pressuring it. Now the first tower gold goes to PVS. Arch loses the shutdown, and Bad, I believe he was fighting with a full item, whereas all of VGU did not have a full item there besides maybe Arch. So, you know, they had the ability to just walk that one out, and they decided not to. And it's key decisions like that, key mistakes like that, that make the difference in these playoff matches, that make the difference between a champion and not a champion. And that is what we are seeing. Again, we're going the 15-minute mark. VGU has lost their gold lead. They're down 2k gold. Their side lanes are falling apart. Their mid lane is falling apart. And it's consistent time and time again. We are seeing why TA Prime came in as the first seed.
Yeah, I mean, on top of all the things that you just listed, Xin Zhao is the big man on TAP right now. And for VGU, their range carries are the ones who are going to be doing the heavy lifting. So it's going to be extremely hard for them to do anything in these team fights with Xin Zhao being so strong with his ult. I mean, you can't get close to him into his ult. So, you know, Xin Zhao going to be buying a lot of time. It's looking really difficult for VGU to really do much here going forward.
Yeah, I mean, Quality player falling decently behind on this Vigar hurts a lot. Only at 94 CS at 15 minutes. Not what you want to see in a competitive match. especially on a very farming hungry champion like Vigar, who wants to get that second item Rabadon super early. A nice root coming out from Arch onto Spirit, and man, Arch is just performing on this Xayah with these roots coming left and right. Ichirat wasn't even ready to follow up on that, man. He got surprised by his AD carry doing that much damage. Arch is doing what he can to try to bring this to a game 4.
Yeah, Arch does not want to lose here. He wants to keep going in this league, but a whole bunch of fights breaking out right now.
Speaking of plays, in the mid lane, PVS gets absolutely blown up. Arch was able to flash away in the bot lane, so no kills coming out. And Reform Top tried to TP, but Wild Terror was able to stop that. So TP not going to come through. Shaminian looking what he can do in this bot lane, but might get rooted up here. No, Arch barely missed the third feather. That might have been another kill. Shaminian had cleanse, so he probably would have gotten out, but still, this consistent pressure by this lethality Xayah is really, really nice to see. And really nice to see VGU having a winning player, having something to play through. When it becomes Lightning, isn't able to get over the wall. The feathers nearly took out Shaminian there. And VGU looking to push in. Unfortunately, there's no objectives up and nothing to do.
Yeah, unfortunate there. They have lost both of the early dragons, even with Arch dominating in the bot lane. So that's extremely unfortunate. They're not able to convert those kills into much of anything objective-wise. You know, it's going to be pretty hard for them going forward, just because, you know, Arch having this lead and not really get anything out of it. I mean, if you don't get anything out of it, it's not really much of a lead, is it? So, you know, maybe they'll get this bot tier 1. Not even the first tower though. So, yeah, we'll see what VGU can do here with Arch on the Xayah being strong, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the big question here on the other side of the map now is, can a Wild Terry really match Reform Top for a long time? He's down 2 levels. You know, he has the item advantage for now, but Reform Top sitting on a lot of gold. He's gonna probably get his Riftmaker off this buy. Wild Terry looking to actually cancel that. Now a fight coming out in the mid lane. Spirit gonna get rooted up from the Everfrost. Gets blown down pretty low. Is gonna flash away. Not gonna be able to finish that one off. Zohair looking for the finish. Gets exhausted, but in the meantime, Bad on the back line is taking down Zohair's entire team. Zohair with way too much of a funnel onto the support. Costs his team his life. And that's 3 members now going down. Arch turning around on Shaminian. Not enough damage as the cleanse was nicely timed from the root Reform Top. Now looking on to Arch. Arch is gonna have a hard time running away with this one. He does have the Featherstorm available to him. Reform Top looking for the finish. It's going to flash forward. Dodges the last charge of the Needlework, so he is going to survive. A nice play from Arch. But again, Virtue Gaming Unity has different priorities, is not on the same page. Zohair not looking where his team needs to be, and Virtue Gaming Unity falling apart once again. Arch going to get taken down. A nice knockout from PVS on this Vel'Koz pocket pick.
Yeah, I mean, nice little pick there from PVS on the backside. You know, during that fight, as I mentioned earlier, it was extremely hard for Xayah to really do anything, as Xin Zhao was just hitting his teammates and he was not able to do the damage back. He was just full HP, sitting there, not doing anything. So, you know, in these fights, VGU have got to find a way to get Arch hitting someone other than the Xin. If they're going to get it engaged on by TAP, it's not going to be looking good for them.
Yeah, I mean, the immune duo of Gwen and Zhao is a fantastic combination, a really innovative experience. Really fun to play against, as VGU is experiencing quality player. Nearly gets nuked from PVS, trying to sneak in the little cheeky Q, but now he's the one getting collapsed on, has to cleanse and flash away. Ichirat still going forward. Shaminian drops the ultimate, but a quality player going down so low, got hit by a knock up there, and now Shaminian is a bit unleashed here, looking for Ichirat. Ichirat is going to sacrifice himself. Shaminian still going forward. Arch running away. Zohair also running as fast as he can. Hook lands on Arch. Well played by Spirit to take him down. That's 3 members of VGU collapsing. That's mid tier 2 collapsing. That's Rift Hail dropping. Going to be tier 3 going down, and that's going to be a 4,000 gold lead for TA Prime as they look to crack the base.
Yeah, it just seems like TAP is now going to be running away with this game here in the mid game. Going to be getting an early inhib here and potentially looking for an early Baron, given that they do have Zeri, Xin, and Gwen, all auto-attacking champions that will be doing a lot of damage to Baron, but instead, no, they're just going to be going on to the Nexus turrets.
TAP maybe looking for the end here. This might be a bit greedy. If they get ace here, it's a huge gold swing for Virtue Gaming. Unity Reform Top in the backline. Arch doing so much damage, is able to take down PVS. Now Reform Top doing what he can. Still has a little more charge of the Needlework. Is able to take down Quality Player, but now he's going to get taken down by Arch. But he takes down Ichira in the meantime. A double kill for Reform Top, and even fighting under towers, it's not that bad for TA Prime. In the meantime, though, Wild Terry was just pushing the top lane, was able to take the top tower, got so much XP, so much gold, so much, and got the objective bounty as well. Although it did take him quite a while to do that. You feel like he's been down here for what feels like ages. Wild Terry, and now getting hit by the Wind Comes Lightning. Looking bad. He's going to try to chase this one out. Wild Terry will have the minions to jump to, is able to walk the one out. I believe he has the extra movement speed from Time Warp Tonic. And now Virtue Gaming Unity is going to take the dragon that spawns, so they get a little bit more gold in their pocket. Down to a 3k gold lead for Team Ambition Prime, so not all hope is lost yet. Oh, but TA Prime is rushing Baron, maybe? They're TPing in.
Oh, okay, here it is. Yeah, this is pretty much what we expected here. They have a really fast Baron take. Especially with the pressure from the mid inhib. Veigar is stuck in the mid lane, not able to contest this, so it looks like TAP is going to be able to grab this for pretty much free.
And this is just a great call. Zelhair's mid. And Xayah was farming bot lane. This is a fantastic call by TA Prime, and something that Unity just wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I mean, just well done from TAP, recognizing that they can take the Baron so early. VGU kind of reeling still. They did get the dragon off of that mid push, but while they were taking the dragon, TAP was already moving towards the Baron. So, good trades here from TAP coming out and getting advantages when VGU thinks they're calling back.
Yeah, I mean, again, my emphasis on Quality Player this game. Missed a lot of crucial stuns, and now down to only 131 CS at 22 minutes. Doesn't even have a double needlessly large rod yet. At this point in the game, you want your Veigar to have Rabadons. He needs to be having a 600-700 AP spike very, very soon. And I think TAP is just kind of done with the series. They just kind of want to run it down mid, just take the fight to VGU. They're only up 4,000 gold. Under a Nexus Tower, it's not going to be an easy fight necessarily. They aren't just strong enough to completely roll this. The Zeri still needs some time to scale. A nice stun coming on the Bad is going to force the ultimate to come out. That's a very early ultimate. Bad looking to get forward. Reform Top did burn the immune as well. VG has the opportunity to go. There goes Ichira onto the backline looking on Shaminion's able to get that one out. Shaminion takes down Zohair, takes down Ichira. Now Wild Terry Arch with the big Feather Storm isn't able to take down everyone. Shaminion going so low. Arch isn't able to finish him. And Wild Terry in the backline. No, a triple kill for Shaminion. Quality Player can take him down. No, he's not able to. The Merc Treads on Shaminion coming and clutching out the 3v1. Quality Player trying his best, but he is not strong enough to finish it. TAP just walks down mid lane with no regard for human life whatsoever and takes the series 3-0.
Yeah, TAP decided they just want to go home, get an early sleep, and do not push any side lanes. Just run down the mid lane here and force the end with the Baron. I mean, well played from them, knowing that they can do this so early.
Yeah, I mean, super well played to TA Prime that series. VGU put up a great fight, again, for the first 10 minutes of every game. And consistently, between that 10 to 15 minute mark, we just saw the difference in macro play between the two teams. TA Prime always just found a way to find a good fight, to be inside VG Unity's jungle, to be where VG Unity wasn't expecting. And it was a really, it's one of those games where you can clearly see where the difference between the two teams lie and why the games went the way they were. And I feel like a lot of series are won by blunders from one team, but the series was just completely won by the better team.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, we saw time and time again TAP getting these nice little skirmishes in the mid game, even in game 3 with Arch and Ichirat playing so well on their 2v2 in the bottom lane. It just wasn't enough to be able to propel them through the mid game. So, well played to TAP. Just outplaying VGU this series.
Yeah, big congratulations to TAP. They will be moving on in the playoff bracket to play the winner of Grin Prism and Glaive Emerald, both very strong contending teams. So that's going to be a very nice semifinals match to watch. Unfortunately, this is the end of the run for Aegis Defenders League for Virtue Gaming Unity. And hey, man, big shout out to Virtue Gaming Unity. They came in again bottom 6 team in a 16 team league. So not expected to make it out of play-ins, let alone nearly get eliminated in groups. To make it all the way to top 8 in playoffs. top half of the standings, having to play against the first seed. This is farther than they were predicted to go. This was, the higher expectation for them. And although they would have, loved to went to semifinals, to went to finals, you can't be disappointed with the season, and you got to be happy. They're a D. They generally play in D3 Cap leagues, moving up to a D1 Masters Cap and performing this well, man. I mean, if I was Virtua Gaming Unity, I'd be super happy with my performance this season.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly had their moments throughout the season, taking down top teams, and unfortunate that it has to come to an end like this, but still. Definitely exceeded expectations in this league.
Yeah, so Virtua Gaming Unity, they are looking to compete in PRL Novice. That will be starting up soon. I don't have confirmation when that's starting or if that's starting, but that's the goal. Back to a D3 Cap League where they can hopefully repeat their victory formerly under Oasis Gaming Infusion. For all of Virtua Gaming, teams are starting to die down. Grit is unfortunately finished with their season. Ambition was just announced that the team they'd lost to in semifinals, Clover, was disqualified due to account sharing. So they will be finishing, they will be replaying their semifinal match versus Akuma. That is not officially scheduled, but it's looking like it will be Thursday at 7. Keep an eye on our Twitter for official confirmation on that. And besides that, we're going to be, keep an eye on our Twitter. We'll have some stuff coming up for the summer. We have a Legend of Runeterra team competing in Runeterra Academy starting up, I believe, this week. So that will be very exciting. And Izzo, I mean, thank you so much for casting with me tonight. Unfortunately, we only got 3 games, but there were 3 exciting games. And it's always a pleasure being able to talk with you. Do you have anything you want to shout out for the night?
Oh, absolutely. It was a blast, Ginger. I've always wanted to cast with you throughout the season. So, I had a great time tonight. And, congrats to TAP moving on to their next playoff match. Yeah, I mean, we'll catch you guys on the next VG stream.
All right, well, make sure you drop a follow at Virtua Gaming Live if you enjoyed the stream. Give us a follow on Twitter at Virtua Gaming GG. Make sure you follow us at #2Ginger on Twitter. What are you on Twitter, Izzo?
I don't know how to use Twitter.
You don't? Okay, well, don't follow Twitter on Izzo, but you can find him on there. I promise he has one. Anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on our Twitter and keep a follow on our stream. We'll be streaming plenty of games. Have a great night, everyone, and have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Yeah, you know what it is. Just cracked open and fresh. The AM grind coffee, man. CB Clockwork versus Lotus White tonight. We gotta get ahead, cause if we neck and neck, the Necrox wins. You dig? Look, I love Tuesday night cause I get to watch Necrox get carried in multiple ways. Will it be 5 streaks babysitting them? Maybe it's Alucard making some plays. Or will it be Taco and Pants? I know that they suck, but